From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street in a maximum security facility Central Air, it's AG Today.
Hello, folks. It's Patrick Gorman.
This is Jake Busey.
Hi, this is Bruce Boxleitner.
This is Tom Vera from A Gettysburg Christmas.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
And you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg. I'm glad you're listening. Thank you.
Hey.
Did you say Ed Lincoln?
Oh, yeah. Good night, everybody.
Listening to
Addressing Gettysburg Today.
I love this podcast.
Hello, exactly.
I give him all the credit in the world.
Wow. It's too late.
I am a very pretty man.
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? Welcome to this episode of Addressing Gettysburg Today. I am Matt, and sitting with me today, Bethany. We're starting the show late because Bethany's going to be late. And so we have Debbie sitting in here and Joe. Joe, of course, Peach Orchard Publishing Joe. Everybody knows and loves Joe Goldsberry. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Hanging
That's
in
it?
there.
Just regular old hanging in there.
Well, yeah, you know, it's fall. I think I'm coming down with something that's less than fun.
Yeah.
But-
I kind of have been feeling that way as well.
I just got over it.
Yeah, you had something going on, right, Cole?
I hate to do this. Can you bring the music down a little bit?
In your headphones?
I'm hearing you guys, yeah.
All right. Let me just figure out where it is. How about there? How's that?
That's good.
Better? Okay, good. Still learning this new board here. All right, so anyway, you were saying.
Yeah,
What do you feel like you're getting? Because Tommy got really sick, and he's still kind of fighting it off. I was only sick for like the weekend, and into like I started feeling better Tuesday. I wasn't 100% Tuesday, but like by today I'm feeling good. I feel like back to normal. But Tommy was down for the count for a while.
Ugh. I'm hoping it's nothing more than a mild cold, but it's one of those like you can feel it in the back of your throat.
Are you coughing?
Yep, I've started coughing, and of course I have asthma, so every time I cough, it sounds like I'm dying.
You know, I don't have asthma, but I did have asthma in one of my lungs when I was younger. I used to have to I had all kind of freaking issues. I had like really bad allergies and stuff, and asthma in one of my lungs. So anytime I get a cough, now that I'm a little older, it's always a savage cough. I sound like I'm a lichen or something.
And it hangs on for
Sound like a Lincoln?
A lichen.
Oh, it's like, what does a Lincoln sound like as opposed to other cars?
4 and
Yeah, you recite the Gettysburg Address.
right.
Caller, welcome to Addressing Symptoms. Tell me your ailment.
Right.
And how about you, Joe? You getting sick?
No, I think I'm doing pretty good. Matt, Debbie, it's a pleasure to
When
be
you're
here.
as dirty as
It
you
is
can't get
absolutely
sick. Your immune system's too strong.
like a bull. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Debbie, where's Bethany? She's at
She's at the Giving Spree.
Oh, the Giving Spree. That's right. Okay, so she's doing that, and so she's going to be a while. It'll be a while before she's back here, but she'll be back eventually.
They're
and
done at 6, and then they have to
clean up and everything like that. So she'll be here probably just in time for the news.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Here's hoping, because she emailed me the news, but my email has not yet accepted it.
Right. So
Don't you hate when someone tells you to check your spam folder?
Yeah.
that's the first thing I said to her.
And it's like, yep.
Well, did you check your spam folder?
I don't know why it went
times.
there. I don't know why your email went to my spam folder, Matt. It is a mystery.
When I looked in it, there was something from the Seminary Ridge Museum in the spam folder. I'm like, dude, I get emails from these people all the time. I don't get it.
I went to that thing this weekend. It was fantastic.
Which thing?
Oh, the 24
the 24 hours at the Seminary Ridge,
fun.
right? That was great.
I think I saw you there. You were there for something.
The flags. I was there for the flags.
Yes.
Were you there for the presentation on the flags? You front row?
Yep.
Did you see the presentation on the 7th West Virginia?
No.
No, they talked about the flags of the 7th West Virginia.
Oh, yes,
Who
I
did-
remember
who
that
did
part.
that?
That was Deb Novotny.
Yeah.
Deb Novotny
She was
did, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
What, Cole?
Was Cam there?
Yeah.
No.
Cam felt it. There was like
He must have.
hey.
His
a
ears
it's
twitched.
disturbance in the cam.
No, I so Friday I did a recording of Spotlight On with Cody Aish and Pete Mealy, and that was a lot of fun. They're fun to talk to. Oh, that's right, you were there, and
Actually managed to come up with questions. I'm so proud of myself.
I know. I think you were the first one to ask them, right?
I think so.
Yeah, your hand went straight up when it was time to
about.
ask questions. So it was a good weekend. I had some ideas for, we got to do. I said to Pete, we got to do more to get more people coming out here during the 24 Hours of Hell, and maybe not call it 24 Hours of Hell would
That
be a
might
good
help,
start
yeah.
on my part. But like the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center has so much to
They really
offer.
do.
They do so many cool things. There needs to be swarms of people out there.
There really
So
should be.
I came up with some ideas.
I
that we're gonna run by
suspect
them.
that may be
Places
happening.
in Gettysburg too.
Colby, say that again.
I said it's also one of the prettiest places in Gettysburg.
It is.
True.
It's like it's something out of a freaking like magazine. It's picturesque.
It is,
Indeed.
and it's just this cool old historic building.
I sprang for registering to go down in the basement. Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. Tell me about it because I didn't do it.
I mean, it looks like a cellar.
A dirt
But
floor or
no, they said it was a dirt floor until like a year before they opened.
okay.
So all this time that had been a dirt floor.
Okay.
But he showed us some historic pictures. He read, and we got to go into both sides, which they're not really connected. Like you can't walk from one side to the other
Okay.
of the building. There's two separate cellars. One's a little bit bigger than the other. But you get to go down there and see the original foundations.
Oh, nice.
And he read firsthand accounts talking about the soldiers who were down there who nearly drowned, weren't found for like a week.
I know that's the hardest thing to imagine. You're
That's
just laying there
just-
completely helpless.
Yeah.
And
And that water starts rising, and there's
God.
nothing you can do.
Scary. Gotta be
And
scary.
he had one of the things that really made it cool was he had audio recordings. So he had sound effects. Like every once in a while, you'd hear someone go by overhead.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
you'd hear a wounded man groan, or you'd hear someone splash around in the water. Like it was really cool, and it
Really?
really made it hit home, especially once he started showing pictures of how it used to look.
See, that's amazing. So that's what we gotta work on. That's really cool. And I didn't hear that when they were on. I don't remember Cody saying that when they were on. And I think they need to blast that from the rooftops. That type of not the sound effects.
Right.
That
No,
they're
I know what you
having
mean.
things like that. Yeah.
Drones from the
And then-
rooftop.
Did you go up to the tower? Because that was the next event, right?
I did not go up to the cupola.
Oh no. Have you ever?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've been up there at least once.
Can I
Okay.
make
But-
an admission to you guys?
Yes.
Every time someone says cupola, I think they're talking about Francis Ford Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola,
Yeah.
director of The Godfather.
Literally every time someone says the cupola, that's immediately what I think they're referencing.
Talk about two completely different things.
Yeah, people in the comment section here, Josh Pickett saying, yes, there's something going around. Estella says, be careful, Debbie. Bronchitis is bad right now.
Don't tell me that. with
And
my
Ron
asthmatic
Moore
lungs.
says, hey, Matt, usually I'm jealous because you're in Gettysburg, but this week I'm in Key West. Love the show. Thank you, Ron.
Dude, the keys are great, man.
Yeah, I would like to go there someday.
Yeah, I've never been there.
What's the war sites are in the Key West, though?
Oh, the Battle of Key West.
Why does it have to
You
be
got
Civil
pirates,
War?
right?
Why would
It
you
can't
Yeah,
just be
pirates. You got pirates.
I love studying pirates.
Also, you got Ernest Hemingway sites.
Ernie.
Keys.
With
I
the
bet that
And
boy
if you're a
could
cat
drink.
person, there's all the cats.
the pterodactyl
Free-
cats.
free
That
roam.
that's not the right word, is it? It's not pterodactyl cats. It's
Wait, what?
somebody help me out here.
What the hell are you
I don't
talking
even know
about?
what you're trying to reference.
I don't
The
either.
cats.
There's a cat colony down there.
Pterodactyl? No, that's still the same word.
A
Oh,
cat?
dactyl.
Yes, thank you.
They have only 3 toes.
What? Oh,
A cat, like little cats or big cats, like wild cats.
Wild cats.
like
Like they,
they'll rip your face off, wildcats, or
not
Like, are we
necessarily. I think they're
talking
used
cougar,
to
mountain
people.
lion size, or are we
No,
talking?
no, no.
like,
We're talking house
domesticated?
cats.
so we're talking cougar or
Talking
Mellencamp?
All this name association.
No. No, they're like house cats that they're feral.
It's just a stream of consciousness today. It's just, we're
totally
just gonna
is.
go with it.
It absolutely is
my
stream of
favorite. That's
consciousness.
my favorite literary style.
Stream. Oh, me too.
Really?
What, stream of consciousness?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never tried to read it. I've only spoken it.
What's the guy that?
James Joyce?
No, it's from the
He's
South.
probably
It's
the most
guy
famous.
that Shelby Foote always talks about him. He's from the South. He.
Oh, that guy.
Faulkner.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how he writes his stream of consciousness. He actually, if I've read a few of his things, and it is.
I prefer to write
Good.
stream of unconsciousness.
You know, I could
Eyes
see
closed.
that. With you. Matt, I have to tell you, man. So Taylor and I always something we watch when we go to bed. You know, like there's always something on the TV.
Sure.
That's just what we've come to now. And most times it's Friends, but I have finally got her to come off of Friends. We've watched. I mean, we've beat it to death, dude. So
Yeah, good.
So the new thing we're watching is Frasier, and I have to tell you, you're Frasier.
I'm
You're
Frasier.
Frasier.
Oh, he's much smarter than I am.
No, I mean, listen, you're like the satire version, but you're definitely Frasier.
You're Daphne then, right?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you can be Dappery. I want to be yeah.
You're the wisecracking Brit, Debbie.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I can live with that.
How about Roz? Who's Roz? That's Debbie. Debbie's Roz. No, Colby's Roz.
I want to be Niles, dude.
Niles.
Has all the best lines, man. Niles has the best
Niles.
lines. That Joker is.
Joe's definitely the dad.
I would like just sitting in my easy
just sitting
chair,
in the chair.
just complaining about the government.
Just watching it all happen.
If we're talking beginning of AG to where we are now, I think Eric takes the dad role.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One for Eric.
One for me, one for my homies.
That's good.
Let's see here. The chickens down in the Keys. What's about the chickens? They got chickens down there? Ricky Bird
Not
says, don't forget
familiar.
about them.
I'm not familiar with
I'm
the
not
chickens.
familiar either.
You're not familiar with the wild chickens of the Key West?
Apparently not.
They're incredibly famous.
There's also the dry Tortugas where they imprison Dr.
I
Mudd.
really want to go there.
I've been to the
It
Dry
looks
Tortugas.
gorgeous.
It is beautiful, but that is not the Keys. That's more towards the Caribbean.
Oh, that's right. Those are in the Tortugas. The Great Tortuga Islands in the Turtle Seas.
It's a beautiful plumage there.
Listen, hey, Colby and what's your name, Joe? I'd like to say Happy Veterans Day to you.
Yes, indeed.
And Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans in the audience.
We wouldn't be here without you.
That's right. And that's true. That's true. Those of you,
On multiple levels. Why is he laughing at me?
you are fathers to us all.
Good Lord.
Listen, this is a
You're-
big one back to back because today's Veterans Day, but tomorrow's my good old Core's birthday.
Well,
yeah.
so today isn't actually Veterans Day,
Saturday
right?
is
No, Saturday.
Yeah.
11/11.
11/11/2011. That's where we are now. And so I would like to wish a happy Veterans Day to you guys. Also, don't forget, those of you who might have paid attention back in August, I was talking about how on November 20th, this is also the 60th anniversary of the assassination of JFK.
Ah, yes.
And
Did you watch the new documentary series out on that?
no, so people were talking about it this morning on my morning drive. What's it
pretty
called?
good.
JFK 3 Hours in Hell or something?
I don't know, but it's all about that day. Like they do a little bit of setup, but it's a 3-part series, and I think it was on Disney, if I'm not mistaken.
I am intrigued.
I don't. That's what they were saying. It was on Disney Plus.
It was good.
Excellent.
It was good.
So, how many episodes is it? 3?
I think it's 3, and I think each episode's like 45.
And is it documentary?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have they have all these like eyewitnesses. So they have some people that were in the crowd. They have like some of the Secret Service guys that were there. Like the guy that was in charge of protecting Mrs. Kennedy.
Jackie. Clint Hill is his name.
The guy that's on the back of the car when it happened.
Right. Yeah, that's Clint Hill.
They have interviewing him.
How do you know that?
I know.
And dude, you seem like a guy that would be super into the JFK narrative.
I am very much into JFK. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It's called JFK One Day in America.
Is it just his looks?
That's it.
You know, I mean, is it his body? What do you like about him?
It's the way he spoke.
He did have a great.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
All of them have that
It's
voice,
not.
man.
No, it's not even JFK the man or JFK the president. Although the more I learn about him prior to getting his head blown off, I find he is a fascinating guy.
He was one of those guys that could operate on like 3 hours of sleep.
I envy people like that. But he, I got interested in JFK because in my formative years, the movie JFK came out.
Kevin Costner?
Yep.
Good.
And it was all like on TV. It was just JFK this, JFK that, JFK, JFK, JFK. And I remember there was controversy amongst my parents' generation. I remember my friend's parents came over. Obviously, my friend came over, and we're all sitting around eating, barbecue. And the mother was like, "Oh, we went and saw JFK." I don't know if it was barbecue. We were sitting around eating. It was at a table. It was inside. It probably wasn't barbecue. Anyway, the point is, she goes, "Oh, we saw JFK." I couldn't believe it. That's history. And then my father was like, "It's not history. That's bullshit." I'm sorry.
You forgot the bleep.
That's bullshit. And then and then there was a little debate going on, and I was like, "What is all this about?" And so all the documentaries and shows that they showed promoting the movie and everything got me kind of interested in it. And there's a Zapruder film. Saw the Zapruder film a bunch of times, which is great for a 12-year-old. And
he's a young guy too, so he's like fascinating in that sense. He's so young to be holding the office.
Absolutely. And but then it wasn't until college where my friend and I actually got like the JFK DVD and watched it. And I was like, whoa, man, this is opening my mind, man. And and then for about a decade and a half, so from age like 21 to 35 or so.
Your Rastafarian era?
Yes, my Rastafari. I was a conspiracy believed that there was a conspiracy. I didn't know who. I didn't know who, but I knew that there had to be a second gunman until I said, you know what? I like to make decisions based on all of the arguments and not be anyone's fool, because I'm my own fool plenty of times. So I don't want to be someone else's fool. And so I said, let me read this book that I saw at Barnes & Noble called Case Closed by Gerald Posner. And I read it, and I was like, Now, I had read a bunch of other books, seen a whole bunch of documentaries, but they were all conspiracy-minded. And then when I read Posner's book, I go, whoa, there is a wealth of knowledge here, a wealth of information, and it is a full story and a full examination of the events and the people in the events. And I came out of that thinking, I think Oswald did it alone. And then there were a few documentaries I saw along the way that make the case for it being Oswald.
Yeah, that narrative is flipped.
I do think if there's ever going to be a conspiracy aspect to it, it's that Oswald was enticed to do this by a foreign government. That's the only thing I would see conspiracy-wise.
I think it's a lot simpler than that and more domestic. The conspiracy to me is the government covered up their ineptitude because the Secret Service's number one job is to protect the president,
and they did
and
not
they
do it.
failed.
Well, he was in listen, it's the same thing that happened to the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. They open top car, they pre-released the route in the newspaper.
That was stupid.
Right? Like all the dumbest things you could, and they already had the example of Archduke Franz Ferdinand from what is it? By that point, 60 years prior, roughly 50 years prior. So like they knew how that turned out. You know what I mean? Like they knew how that kind of scenario would turn out. But they do it then, and same deal. But I will say this: it is a testament to Marine Corps marksmanship.
Had to bring the Marines in.
Well, isn't the Warren Commission kind of the final word? of this? Do we not trust the Warren Commission?
Well,
and
so
their
that's the thing. The
findings?
conspiracy theorists do not.
Okay.
I will say this: one of the things that everybody like pushes back on is that his head. They think his head goes the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it, man. When those bullets, listen, I've seen.
Colby,
with
you're
my
going to give
own
away
eyes.
my whole argument, Colby. Don't.
Well, I've got it firsthand experience. I mean,
All right, go ahead.
people
Keep
have pulled the
talking.
trigger. I can tell you
That was the most fascinating thing I've ever heard, Colby. That was amazing.
Wow, Colby. I can't believe you said that.
I can tell you.
Let him talk.
That when a bullet impacts somebody,
Yes.
like that, especially in an area like the head, where or up towards the head, top of the shoulders, in that
The
area.
headal region.
Yes. Oftentimes they will fly back towards where they got shot from because the power of the round coming out the other end.
Thank
blows
you.
them back.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And now
That's
nobody
the real
needs to
thing.
watch it on Monday because there's my argument.
So if I don't know if I want to dive.
Oh no, I'll still.
No,
So
you'll just have
they
to.
go into the bullet. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
No, yes.
So they go into the bullet because of the.
Think about it. It's coming through
right.
and pushing out the other
The
end.
transfer
It's
of the
like you-
momentum.
Got it.
It's
Fold
blowing
over
out
it
the other end of
instead
them
of-
and pushing them back the opposite direction.
And Colby, we're also, let's not forget muscles. Let's not forget JFK was wearing a back brace.
Yep.
So, and then what's the strongest body muscle in the body?
My.
Nope. Don't.
Get that bleed button ready.
I gotta keep my finger on this with this idiot around. No. So what was the strongest? The back, right? It's the strongest muscle we've got, isn't it?
I would argue the legs are strong.
Well, okay. The legs are
Alright,
bigger,
yeah.
but but whatever. The point.
Your mouth.
Your mouth is the strongest muscle in your body.
No, your mouth.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that your brain is, it's like in control of everything. You smash a bullet through it, all the muscles are going to do what? Tighten, tense up.
Sure.
And you're in a back brace, and you so that's why
It's
you're
your
sitting up straight. There's so
body's
much,
natural reaction to pain.
Exactly.
And say to that guy about stabbing him in the temple, he says it'll make me bite down.
Shawshank.
Yeah. Dufresne says that if you stab me in the temple, that'll make me bite down.
There you go.
And you have to use a pry bar to get my jaw.
To get my jaw, and then And so, anyway, the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, you need to tune in November 20th, 7 post-meridian. Jen Murray and I are going to discuss. We're not going to debate, although it will be a debate, but we're going to discuss the JFK assassination. All are welcome to join. We want you to call in as well and share your thoughts, because everybody has a thought about JFK. And, of course, we weren't even alive. But a lot of you may be saying, what does this have to do with Gettysburg? This is a Gettysburg show. What's a JFK?
Visited here.
There's a picture back there of JFK in Gettysburg.
Yeah,
Okay?
he visited this
Can you
place
see
one
it?
time.
You can't really hear. Let me move that out of the way. Look, right there. I can't take it off the wall because it's command stripped on. But he visited us here, and that was, 6 or so many months before he was
wasn't that long.
The
assassinated.
command strip picture thing from me, or is that something you were doing before? Because in my studio, that's how I've done all.
Yeah,
my
no, I was doing it
artwork.
before, but yeah, I mean, it's easier than putting holes in the wall.
It's easier, man.
Because then you got to fix the holes when you
Right,
leave.
right?
You know.
Although I will say, if you let them sit up there too long, they're gonna rip whatever they're attached.
Yeah, the adhesive does eventually wear out.
Yeah, and then they also rip the paint off the wall anyway. But anyway, so that don't forget, November 20th. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, sign up for the Christmas party over at addressinggettysburg.com under the tours and events tab. Everybody is welcome, except for Joe. Everybody else is welcome. No, everybody's welcome, including Joe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to have a great time.
I was going to say, I'm not acting as bouncer at the door to keep him out.
No.
so.
Ugly sweater contest book exchange.
Okay, great. We're gonna do the book exchange like we did last year, and the ugly sweater contest. And I'm working on a grand prize for ugly sweater, and it's gonna, if I can get it in time, it's gonna be a doozy, and it might save you about $100 because this is something that you're gonna want to get anyway.
It's gonna save me.
What's gonna save you $100, Joe? You're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's gonna save you $100? You got any
I
ideas?
have an idea.
All right, tell me now. Nope, not that. No, what? Go ahead. I'm not going to say yes or no, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, my idea was both of the Scott Hartwig Antietam books.
That's a good idea. What do you think, Joe? You got an idea?
That's
It's going to save you $100.
Like a year's subscription to your Patreon.
Oh, that's impossible. And how about you, Colby?
That's a good suggestion. Matt doesn't want to miss out on those monthly.
Well, no,
payments.
they don't have that yet. They keep saying that they're working on being able to gift. I would love to gift that to people. Yeah, there's people that like.
Can't you? But can't like at least to the podcast feed? Can't you like send somebody that the hyperlink to the podcast feed? Like they might not be able to get on your Patreon and see all of it on there, but like if you give them the Apple Podcast hyperlink to the Patreon, can't you do it that way?
Maybe. I can give them mine. Yes, I can give them mine. Yeah, but I don't.
You don't want to give that out.
Well, because there's no way to end it. I mean, it's like I'll give you a year's subscription, but I got to be able to end that.
Yeah.
Or you could pay for it.
But no, it's free to me to give it to somebody.
Oh,
I'm saying the thing is, like, if I say I'm going to give away a year's subscription, that if I give you that feed, it's going to last
date.
forever. Yeah, I can't put in it. But apparently Patreon is working on that. So we'll see.
Is there a way to change those feeds if you need to? Like for whatever, like if it gets compromised, is there a way to change that?
Oh,
feed?
probably. I wouldn't do it. That would be through Patreon. They'd have to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But Joe, so you said what, Joe? Patreon?
Patreon.
And then Colby, what's yours?
A personal tour of a specific area on the battlefield.
Interesting. Personal tour of a specific area on the battlefield.
So, I mean, like, it could either be Little Round Top, day 2 or day 3, however you want to do it, or it could be, it could be the day 2 attack over by Culp's Hill. It could be Pickett's Charge. I know that one gets beat to death, but I mean, it could be any aspect of the battle specific where it give you time to study up on it, so you don't have to know you don't have to know in depth the whole battle, but you could give a personal tour.
There you go. I think that explanation was longer than the tour would be.
So we're saying Matt as the guy.
So me giving the tour?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Matt as the guy.
Well, I will tell you this.
Apparently, my explanation wasn't long enough.
I'll tell you this. I'm not going to tell you if anybody got it or not, because I don't have it. I don't have it actually set yet, so I can't really say. But
so, in other words, he was fishing for ideas.
I was, yes. Now one of you gave me a good idea.
One
I don't
of us
know.
was right.
I don't know which one.
Congratulations.
No, I think we will have it announced beforehand. But yes, make sure that you join us for the party. It's going to be fun. It's going to be at Lincoln Social, formerly Savorhood, and we're going to have the back room there. Jello wrestling. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't remember
Jello
that
wrestling.
On the list.
Joe and Joe and Colby.
No,
Joe and Colby will be Jello wrestling.
You can't listen. Marine Corps and Navy. Like that's like kin wrestling each other. We can't do that.
By the way, somebody said in here,
destroy me, Colby. He would destroy me.
Cole, last week on last week's show, not during the live show, but since the live show, somebody left a comment
about what?
Saying, with the guy in the back, please stop reminding us that he was in the Marines. And then
I saw someone asked.
And then somebody just said, "Was Colby in the Marines?"
Colby with a K too. I like it, man. Making me look like fancy.
I don't know if it's the same guy, but that just made me laugh.
He must be in the Army, though.
He must be. There's some kind of resentment there.
They're jealous, man.
Yeah, they're jealous.
Better uniforms. We got a better reputation.
Exactly.
The ladies, it is.
That's it. All right. Well, listen. I think we all need to just simmer down here and take a break. We're gonna have Brian Zoeller on. He is the new owner of Lincoln Social, formerly Savorhood, and we're gonna talk about what's been going on over there, what you can expect coming up, and all that other jazz. So we'll be right back with Brian after these words.
Your Gettysburg business? Send an email to sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
Want the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? Then visit Bantam Roasters, formerly 82 Cafe at 82 Steinway Avenue. They roast all of their coffee in-house, and they have a full coffee bar to keep you caffeinated during your trip. Visit them at www.raggededgerc.com for their menu and shipping options for all of their freshly roasted coffee. Use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order in the cafe.
Enjoy historical stories on the History Fix platform. Explore movies, short films, and documentaries. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive an extra $5 off the first year's annual subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code Gettysburg. Every subscription includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Escape into history with History Fix.
This episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You could book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt.
And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
Seems like we haven't seen you in forever. Welcome back to Addressing Gettysburg Today. Here's Matt.
All right. Brian Zoeller is the new owner of Savorhood. You're running the place.
Formerly Savorhood.
I'm sorry, yes. Formerly Savorhood. Now it's Lincoln Social.
That's right.
And welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
So you actually are the owner of the building, right?
Correct. Yep.
And so, everybody kind of came to you and said, hey, we need somebody to run this, and you don't want to lose tenants, and they don't want to lose their shirt, and so you're working together with them, and now you're running the place. Yeah. Is that what do you normally do?
I'm a real estate investor.
Okay.
So I was brought into this project from the Savorhood partnership a year ago or so as the building designer, and I took my construction team through, and we build out the facility for Savorhood.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We typically renovate older buildings for creative reuse and repurposing, and then lease them out long term to tenants.
So what's people expect that would be different from what we were used to at Savorhood?
So a lot of similarities in terms of the food hall structure, the idea that there are 6 plus food vendors. There will be a rotating group, some new ones coming in. But that general framework will continue.
Okay.
You can go in with a group of people and everyone can get their own thing. That part stays fairly consistent. There will be some tweaks to it, but the big part that differs, and we use the name to hopefully accentuate this difference, Lincoln Social, the social part of it, will really be elevated and heightened and emphasized more than in the Savorhood model. So there's a really large event space to the rear, which because you have a party scheduled.
You got a party coming up, yep.
I hear there's Jello wrestling involved. So
that was a joke.
Thank
Don't
God.
worry. We're not
Nobody
that
wants
kind
to
of
see
crowd.
that.
So we plan to make use of that space. They do a lot of community outreach and organizational outreach to bring in a lot more programming. So we have a comedy show scheduled, and then we're planning a First Funny Friday for every month to bring a comedy show to Gettysburg monthly.
Like stand-up comedians or
stand-up comedians. So we actually have one next Thursday, is November 16th. I think it's 2 groups of 5, sort of like a battle royale of comedians. back and forth. So
Nice.
we have that. We're looking at a band November 26th, which is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So it is Bet Williams and Beth Lee. They have a song in the new Gettysburg movie.
Yeah, that's our friend Bo's friends.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
So that's
Bo,
going to be
I
on the
recognize Bo.
26th.
So they are touring in Europe right now. So our communication has been spotty. But yeah, that's what we were trying to finalize that as of today to be like a 5 to 7 time frame. That Sunday after Thanksgiving, right before the movie premiere the next day.
Yeah, right.
So lots of things like that. I'm sure we'll touch on some other things, but really just trying to bring people together, create a really fun, engaging environment. So it's more than just food and brew. It's actually good times and gathering as well.
We loved it. We would go there all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And when it would first open, we were there like several times a week. I had to actually stop because my wallet was getting lighter and my waistband was getting wider. So I had to say, all right, you need to act like an adult and control yourself. But I mean, we really like the place. Now, will you be taking cash there?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so big one. So definitely I'm big on feedback, receiving feedback and seeing where the pros and cons, where the strengths and weaknesses are. And by and large, one of the biggest community responses was, we need to pay cash.
Yeah.
It's just... It's a model that in this area people expect. You can pay cash. It's legal tender. We should be able to use it. Boom, you can use it now at Lincoln Social. So
good.
That's something that's different. We're going to put some specials in place for senior crowd and also locals in general. So
like what do you mean? Like specials like?
Well, so Senior Day will be the first Thursday of every month. Will be 10% off for seniors.
Okay.
So 65 and older crowd can come in all day long. First Thursday of every month. That'll start in December.
Okay.
And then we're working on local Thursdays, which will be 10% off on Thursdays for Adams County residents.
Very nice.
Yeah, so
I know why we're going every Thursday now.
This is perfect. Yes, I'm so glad to hear this. Okay, well, so now, how about things for kids? Is there going to be anything for kids?
Working on it. Now, keep in mind, I've been doing this 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
So
what? You don't have it all figured out yet?
My head is spinning.
I bet.
Between, getting accounts and website and socials and but we are brainstorming and getting things in place. Tex of Texas Barbecue is our general manager, and Jordan of CJ's, both the grill and the seafood. She's part of that family. They've really been helping me out a bunch, and we've been working together to build out our programming at least through the end of the year. So some of the kids' activities we don't have officially on the calendar yet, but we've been working towards is kind of kids and kind of moms, a mom's day out type of thing for the stay-at-home crowd that maybe could use a break from the kids a bit.
A lot?
A lot.
Something more than McDonald's
Yeah,
every time.
exactly.
Right.
So we're working on some programming there where the kids and moms, I should broaden it to parents, but moms is easier. It has more of a ring, mom's day out, can come in together and kind of share the space. We're doing some, Jordan's working on bringing some first responders, having a fire truck with Santa on it for Santa, selfies with Santa.
That'd be
bring
fun.
the kids out, bring the family. So
okay,
you definitely have to stay tuned on social media because we're working hard to really engage the surrounding community with lots of entertainment value to the space.
I know there was talk at least of expanding outside up on the hill there to like some outdoor like food truck type of things, but I guess like they were going to put them in like shipping containers, so they were more like permanent, semi-permanent.
Yeah.
Is that still on the table, perhaps?
It's not off the table, but it's pushed toward a far corner,
Right.
I would say. I mean,
Deal with that later.
It's a cool idea, but we have bigger fish to fry
Sure.
at the moment. Yeah.
So how you're right, Deb?
Yep, I'm good. That's why there's tea.
Good. So how are you feeling about it? I mean, obviously you said your head is spinning, and you've been only 2 weeks into this. Feeling optimistic about it?
Yeah, We've gotten a lot of response. I talk about programming and events, and we have groups booking every day, and we're in a short time have been reaching out to a lot of different groups and posting on socials and trying to get the word out there. Tomorrow I think we have 260 kids on a school trip coming in. This past weekend we had 95 or 100, somewhere just under 100 for a pre-wedding party.
Wow.
We had 20 teachers come over from Chambersburg after a long week and just unwind a bit. And actually another 20 different teachers from Chambersburg are coming next month. We have your Christmas party coming in. We have, a big thing I want everyone to be aware of, our grand opening / reopening of sorts will be December 2nd, 4 to 8. That's going to be, a big day for us to kind of reintroduce ourselves to the community. We have decided to stay open through November. We're open Thursdays through Sundays, 4 to 8. Stay open while we rebrand and reorient, change some of the policies, change some of the structures. But we wanted to stay open. Our vendors, depend on business coming through. They need that income. That was important.
Sure.
So while this is a transitional month, hopefully December, we're really going to be up to speed and fully operational. Yeah.
Do you have plans to so like you mentioned that the hours, the Thursday to Sunday, is that just winter hours, or is it going to be 7 days a week eventually again?
It's likely just to get us through February. We'll evaluate March as we approach that point, but consider them to be winter hours. As that spring comes around, you'll see some information coming out and posts coming out, probably broadening that week. To be determined if it returns to a full 7 day, but likely certainly there will be changes in the spring and summer.
How about one of the things that kind of seemed to happen around the same time was Liquid Art went bankrupt and closed all of their locations. Right. What's the deal for the bar? There's a lot of people worried.
There will be alcohol service, regardless of who it is. So what we have going now is a rotating cycle of guest brewers. So we had last Friday we had Rough Edges out of Waynesboro.
Okay.
Saturday we had Big Bottom Brewery out of Dillsburg, and they are going to be in this weekend and next as well. Big Bottom. And I'm building out the schedule as we speak through the rest of the year, bringing in brewers week by week. So I don't know if that will be the long-term play, but in the interim time, as we evaluate our options, it does create kind of a little bit of an event in itself, bringing in a new brewer weekly or bi-weekly.
Sure, yeah.
Particularly groups from maybe just around the periphery of the immediate local area.
Yeah.
To expose Gettysburg folks and immediately around Gettysburg to some outside
brewers.
That's
a good idea is have all over come in, and then they're going to tell their people, hey, come check us out.
So Big Bottom this week, they actually have 13 beers on tap. So Bob has just been awesome. Talking more to Bob about beer than I ever expected to be doing. But he's been awesome, and he's in this weekend. They have a beer out of the State College area. They're bringing in Blue Stripe because we're hosting a Beat Michigan Penn State watch party on Saturday.
Okay.
So he brought that beer in specifically for the Penn State crowd.
Yep.
And we'll have, just a lot of that kind of a fresh approach each week.
I'm going to avoid that event.
Are you a Michigan fan?
I am from Michigan, and I am a Wolverine.
We need Michigan fans there.
You're going to have to get the other Michigan fans.
Every hero needs a villain.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
You can determine which one is which. That should be a good.
Considering my team's undefeated right now. Just saying.
What are you looking for any new vendors? I know there was the grilled cheese place was vacant before.
Yes.
I think the cookie place is vacant now. What are your plans for those vacant spaces? What are you looking for?
Announcement on the cookie space, Java Shack, which is home based out of Shippensburg technically, but they've been making inroads to Gettysburg recently at the hospital, at the college. They do acai bowls, smoothie bowls, coffees, iced coffees, lattes, espressos.
I think I overheard the owner of that place talking in the aisle next to me at Walmart. Because she was mentioning how the college is like a boon. It's like a really good moneymaker.
So they're going to be coming in. Hopefully their opening day will be our grand opening celebration that weekend of November 30th through December 3rd. I met with a potential new vendor for the Sunshine Fries space that vacated. Stay tuned. Can't announce.
Definitely sad to see that one.
Wait, the potato place went?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Last in there, I noticed it, and I went, I was like literally walking in here because I wanted a baked potato.
Yeah, see, I guess for me it was always like, well, that's something I get on the side is potatoes. That's not my main thing, so I never went there.
Must be the Irish in me coming out. I can make a whole meal out of the potatoes.
And then I would love an Asian vendor of sorts, Asian cuisine for the grilled cheese space. So if anyone out there is listening and has some leads.
You know who you really need to court? Are those kids that have the halal cart on Carlisle Street?
Okay.
I keep bugging them every time I go there. I'm like, for the last couple months, I've been like, there's a space open at Savorhood. Go
Lincoln
and
Social.
Set up. Well, it was Savorhood at the time. Sorry, Lincoln Social.
It's a branding.
Yeah, I know. I understand. But no, there's a space open. You should go there. I keep telling them you got to have a brick and mortar place, but they make good money off the college kids, and I guess the overhead's lower. They don't have to hire somebody to run the other place. So they're like, meh. But they're so good. They're so good. Have you spoke to the people who have May's Noodle House?
I have not, no.
Because I think they used to own J&J's Asian cuisine, which used to be Ping's.
Okay.
Do you remember Ping's? Or you're not from here?
I'm a little over the mountain.
Yeah, you're in Chambersburg. Well, anyway, they might be someone to talk to. See,
Yeah. No, I appreciate any leads.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else, but I would love it if there was a good sushi place around here. That's what I would like.
My wife will be happy to hear you say that. That's what she's pushing me to try to get into.
Well,
that
there's
space.
a great place in Camp Hill called Takashi.
Okay.
And my girlfriend Cindy and I used to go there every time I would go up to visit her up there in Camp Hill. But she moved down here, and now the only time we have it is if she grabs it on the way home from work. And we don't do it that often, but we used to eat it there all the time. It's so good. They would be great if they would move down here. I would love that. But we'll see. We'll see. There's only so much we can do. Only so much hoping and praying that we could do. As far as events go, and I really think that back room, really is a great space for events. So I think you should, I'm glad to hear that you guys are going to be focusing on doing that. Because I really think that's going to be the saving grace, especially through the winter. With all these groups coming in and using the space there. Who would people get in touch with if they want to schedule an event?
So Jordan is our marketing director, and she's the one that's really taken that on her shoulders to schedule the events and programming.
How would they contact? Is Jordan
it's Jordan at cjsfood.com, I believe it is. Our website.
CJS Foods.
I believe that's correct. I should have that, but I have the wrong.
I'll tell you this: it's plural foods because I originally emailed her without the plural, and it came back to me.
All right, well there you go.
So it's foods.com. Yeah.
And if you go on social, it'll link you to that email, and website will be going live here shortly. That we'll have for contact as well.
Good.
And Jordan's great. She'll follow up and get you scheduled, and whatever request you have, or dietary restrictions, or group requirements, space requirements, she'll be very helpful in that regard.
I just spoke with her yesterday, and she was very nice and friendly, and it's always nice to talk to people who are nice and friendly. Sometimes you talk to places and they act like they don't want your business, right? And it's like you're bothering them, right? But that wasn't the case with Jordan. She was very friendly, very nice, and very happy to have our business. So if you haven't been to Savorhood, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sorry, I'm just in the habit of calling it Lincoln Social. If you haven't been to Lincoln Social yet, why not sign up for our party? Come hang out with us. Wear your ugly Christmas sweaters.
Do it.
And bring the books you want to get rid of, and then you can go and try whatever your heart desires there at Lincoln Social. I'm looking forward to it. Do you know who's going to be running the bar in December on the 9th?
December 9th, I don't know if... Oh, I do. Or no, that's the wrong month. I don't. I
Just
don't.
kidding.
I've
Do you
been
have
working
nobody-
I've been working this week, week upon week to
Got it.
build out the schedule.
So do you not
Fair.
have somebody yet for that?
Not yet, but we will.
Will we make a request?
Yeah, I'm taking requests.
I would.
I can't say I'm going to honor, but I'm going to hear
okay.
it. Yeah.
Try to see if Fourscore can come in.
Okay.
Oh.
I like Fourscore.
They
That's a good
just
idea.
made they just made my database today. I've been collecting brewer contact information, and I just put them in today. Haven't had a chance to call them yet.
Could you do? Could you do like if Fourscore and Mason Dixon came, so that we could have liquor and beer?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I actually, for the grand opening, we're trying to get a distillery and a brewery, so you can have both.
So my request would be Mason Dixon, Fourscore.
Let me get
So
a
you'd have
pen.
like
Let me-
one at the front bar and one at the back bar, kind of a thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're brainstorming, going back to events. We've talked about a brew off of like front bar versus back bar.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that would be fun.
We were looking to pull the trigger on a brew fest, kind of a small scale brew fest, and jam it through pretty quickly here this calendar year. But we decided just today to push that off into 2024. So stay tuned on that. But that would be using that back room space, 3,300 square feet, multiple brewers, distillers, wineries, etc. To sell a ticket and sample their product.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's in the works.
All right, great.
Yep.
Colby, anybody back there have any questions or anything?
I've had questions the whole time. I've been freaking muted.
He needs a sign. Unmute me.
I need a punch in button just so I can.
I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna get an intercom for you.
Crap. I don't even remember half the questions I've had.
You gotta write them down.
So do you have a liquor license, or is it right now? Is it just beer and wine?
By the availability of the guest brewers at the time. So depending on the liquor license of the brewer dictates what they're able to serve. So
there was never a liquor license. Oh, not never, but not in the last year. Was there a liquor license there?
No, so
Right.
the previous ownership, when it was the Pike, they had the R license, which is the full liquor license. When it was Savorhood, Liquid Art had a brewer's storage license, which allowed them to serve all PA.
Okay.
So
liquor, beers, etc.
Since you're a social house, that's kind of like a way to get around it. So as long as whoever is coming in to sell their product has a liquor license,
yep, so
they're able to sell.
So they're primarily either working on an expo permit or a catering permit.
That's pretty cool.
So depending on the type of permits or licenses they hold, they can pull a different permit.
That's cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
That's awesome. So you said a few things that really stood out, and I'm very excited about. The comedy show is actually, honestly, one of those things. My wife and I love going to stand-up comedy shows. Are they local comedians, or are they traveling from different areas?
Can't answer that. I know Big Chuck is the promoter, and Tex is our GM. Tex is the one who got that all set up. So unfortunately, I don't have the details.
Probably regional.
I would say regional.
guess.
I would say
Yeah.
regional. Yep.
Because before they had stand-up comedians, they were from Baltimore, from the Baltimore area. So I'm gonna guess regional.
Yeah.
Regional. All right. Anything else, Colby?
No, not directly on this subject. I have some chat comments, but outside of that.
Go ahead. What are the chat comments?
Well, listen. Some of them are fun. Like I got Dragoon 12 here. There's been quite a few comments, so I've lost him now. But he was making some Marine Corps comments here. And in good fun, I have two different answers to this, but in good fun, he says, watch it there. I was talking crap about the Army a minute ago, as all the branches do with each other. He says, watch it there, Devil Dog. As an Army infantry, I have to admit the Marines do have better dress uniforms and advertising.
Yeah.
Truth on both topics. But the advertising is not because of money. We only get 7% of the Navy's budget. That's just from being uber.
Okay.
Get that bleep right.
Are there any comments for our guests?
Oh, well, that's why I was trying to tell you. You asked. I said this was off topic.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay.
I said not on this topic, but no. I mean, not that I've seen. Honestly, the chat sometimes goes all over the place.
Yeah, it does.
And
They
right
have
now
their own conversations.
Right. The only thing that's been kind of on topic at all is someone. Mitchell Randall says they would like Cam as a guest bartender.
Good luck with that.
Word.
Good luck with that.
That's exactly what he'd say, too.
Yeah. He would say no.
But no, outside of that, that's pretty much it. The rest of it has been Michigan, about Michigan.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
I might have to go back and look at that later.
yeah, right. Well, we'll get to that after the break then when we get back to the news and everything. Otherwise, that is it. What, you got something?
Well, no, I was just going to say, follow him on Facebook. It's
Yeah.
Lincoln Social Food Market. I found it here just 5 minutes ago. So
Right. Facebook,
Promptly
anywhere else,
followed
like Instagram, anything like that?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and like I said, the website should go live here within a day or so.
All right, very
Brian,
good.
do you have a preferred social outlet that you want people to go to most?
I would say Facebook at the current moment is the most up to date, has the most extensive amount of information.
Awesome. All right.
Very good. All right, well then that's it. Thank you much, Brian, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck with everything. I hope it's gangbusters for you, and I hope
Appreciate
you
it.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
and
did.
that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with the news.
Want to be on the show? Send an email to info@addressinggettysburg.com. Be sure to include the reason why you think you'd make a good guest when you write us.
When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah.
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum, is housed in the historic Lutheran Seminary building constructed in 1832, a witness to the first day of battle. The museum's 3 floors of exhibits connect visitors to the dilemmas that led to the Civil War, provide a powerful and personal view of the battle's first day, and explore one of the battlefield's largest hospitals. No visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center is complete without a guided tour of the building's famous cupola, where on the eve of battle, officers and civilians saw thousands of Confederate soldiers' campfires burning to the west, and Brigadier General John Buford watched for vital federal reinforcements as fighting erupted on the morning of July 1st. Today, you can stand where Buford stood and discover how this view helped chart the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. Your trip to Gettysburg is not complete without a serious visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum. Purchase tickets online at seminaryridgemuseum.org or call 717-339-1300.
To get tickets or a cupola tour, listeners may call or walk in and mention Addressing Gettysburg, or by ordering online using the promo code AG1863 for 20% off.
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. It began here.
There's a devil to pay.
If you're a lover of history, then go to trhistorical.com. There you'll find apparel, drinkware, decor, and more featuring a wide range of interests from the ancient world to the Cold War. Looking to make an impression with the perfect gift? Well, TR Historical now offers gift cards and a vintage wrapping service for a truly unique presentation. And our listeners will receive 10% off plus free shipping in the U.S. when you use promo code GBERG1863. So go to trhistorical.com, TR Historical, for the love of history.
Think outside the bus and let family-owned Gettysburg Tours take you on a cycling journey across the picturesque and historic Gettysburg battlefield. There's no better way than by bicycle to gain a feel for the terrain of the battlefield. Slow enough to see it all, yet fast enough to do it all. Follow the route of Union troops entering the fray as you ride to the site of the first shots of this epic 3-day battle. Feel the drama as you put yourself in the position of a Confederate soldier just before he steps off to make Pickett's charge. Take a stand with the heroic Colonel Chamberlain on the slopes of Little Round Top, just before you view the fields of honor beneath you from its summit. All of our guides are officially licensed by the National Park Service. So don't get a sore neck trying to see out of your car, and saddle up with Gettysburg Tours for a 360-degree view of America's most important piece of real estate. Gettysburg Tours. Think outside the bus. Go to gettysburg.com or call 717-752-7752 to book a battlefield experience you will never forget.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or you sip from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
Have you noticed our revamped website at addressinggettysburg.com? Well, that's the fine work of a man named Mike Stretch, and he also redid our logo for us. Both of them I originally designed, and both of them were originally horrible, but now they're nice, and that's all thanks to Mike. Mike has an awesome t-shirt company called Heritage Depot. There you'll find great designs based on Gettysburg and the Civil War with t-shirts and other types of merchandise. So go to heritage-depot.com and spruce up your Gettys Nerd wardrobe. That's heritage-depot.com. Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used. And online, they have even more to choose from. And if the Civil War isn't your thing, that's not a problem. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books. It's astounding how many thousands of titles from Osprey, Savis Beatty, UNC Press, and more they have in their store. And that's because, well, they have a warehouse too. And that's where they keep all the books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs. And if you prefer to stop by when you're in town, well, you could do that too. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com or stop by 42 York Street, or you can call them at 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Was that a ghost? Nah, ghosts aren't real. You're back with Addressing Gettysburg today. Now here's Matt.
Thank you, Huevos.
Hey, Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan.
No.
Kicking people all over the place.
I thought you were going to say kicking people like Peter Pan.
I couldn't think of a rhyme. I wish I'd thought of that one. Hey, everybody, we're back. And I got to tell you something here, folks. And this is gonna really blow your mind.
Oh. Good in a good way or a bad way?
I don't know. I'm stalling for time until I think of something. Hey,
I have the news now, by the way.
Okay,
Yes.
you do have.
I do.
But I've got some things here. Over the last maybe 2 months, I've actually gotten 2 letters in the mail.
Whoa, like physical letters?
Physical letters in the mail, 1 pipe bomb, and 1 box of anthrax. So thank you. I think I know who the pipe bomb and anthrax are from.
Banned from YouTube now.
I know. Oh, can you not even joke about yourself being okay? Well,
Wait, dude, I don't know. You had to muffle the word assassination earlier. You know?
Oh no, I was just saying that because assassination, like it's a tongue twister. Like the assassination of our
YouTube algorithm.
No, I mean that could very well be, but I've watched a million JFK videos on YouTube, so I'm sure they're getting monetized. But no, so I've gotten a lot of letters and emails from people, and some people have sent gifts, like this book here. Who was this from? I apparently had, when we do these. What do you call it? These morning drive videos.
Mm-hmm.
The things we talk about go all over. You want to talk stream of consciousness?
No kidding.
Oh my God!
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel bad telling you this. I haven't really watched them. Do you talk? Are you just by yourself talking to the camera?
What?
Or is someone with you?
I'm driving. No, it's me, and I'm talking to the audience. And so I just start talking about whatever's on my mind, and then I react to comments. And sometimes, man, we get into some deep shit.
Yeah, you do.
Into some deep shit. Oh, that's the wrong button. I'm at deep. There we go.
Yep, this bleep button is going real well, folks.
Yeah, I need it in every bank that I have. Anyway, this was from Jimmy. He doesn't have a last name on it, but it's a book called More Than a Carpenter. Apparently, so the reason why he sent it to me was because we had gotten into a discussion about religion and all that stuff. And I guess I had said something, because I grew up Catholic, and most people who grow up Catholic leave Catholicism.
I have heard that more than other denomination, I think.
Yeah,
I
and
did not know that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Oh sure.
Oh.
Oh
Is
sure.
it
Oh,
because
yeah.
of like the rigid tradition in Catholicism? Like it's very, there's like a lot of.
I think it has more to do with the priest face and their toes. So I think it's more of that.
You got it? I'm going home.
I'm going to need a moment here.
No, I think it is because it's very rigid, but also I'll tell you what happened with me. This was my story. I was raised Catholic, and then you're confirmed in the church, right?
Yeah.
And
Lutherans do that too.
In my case, how old are you when you get that done?
It
It's very
varies from
similar.
congregation to congregation, but I was 8th grade.
8th grade. Oh wow. Okay, so I was sophomore year in high school. Okay.
Okay. Some congregations will do that in high school.
By that point, I was really from the very beginning. I was going because my parents made me go. Right. That's the decision they made for me. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
As soon as I was confirmed, unless it was a wedding or a funeral, I never set foot in a church ever again. Okay?
Okay.
I think I went maybe to 2 Christmas Eve masses. And I think one time I actually did go trying to be a good Catholic. During college, I went on my own and I fell asleep. And so it wasn't until much later when I was in my 30s, my friend, this is about 12 years ago, my friend's grandfather died. And I grew up with this family, and I knew the grandparents, and the grandmother died. I can't remember if it was months before or a year and a few months before, but she died, and then he very quickly, died afterwards. And I was very close to her. She was like, my grandmothers had already been dead when I got,
so
as
she was
I
like
got
the
closer.
substitute grandma.
So she was, and she was just so much fun, and I loved her. She was great, and he was cool too. He was in Patton's army, and he would tell me all these stories about World War II.
That would be a cool person to talk to.
Oh my God, I loved them. They were like my third set of grandparents, and I'm very close to this day with that family. And so, when he died, we had the funeral. Now I couldn't go to her funeral because I was living down here and I couldn't get away. But when he died, I was living in Jersey, and so I went to the mass, and I actually missed these people. I actually was sad, and I wanted to feel some connection, some kind of spiritual something, right? And I'm kneeling, I'm standing, I'm sitting, I'm spinning around, I'm high-fiving the guy next to me. I'm doing all these things. I'm doing a lot of call and answer stuff, and I'm feeling no connection to God. I'm feeling no connection to the moment, to the purpose of us being there. And I was like, I remember saying this to myself in the church. I was like, I'm not a Catholic. Like, this does not connect me to anything. This actually distracts me from everything. And so that was the whole thing. But anyway, my point is, that's a big, long story to just say that we got into, some religious discussion, and he decided to send me this book, More Than a Carpenter. I have not yet started to read it. I will go through it, though, because you were kind enough to send it to me in response to something I said. Other things, and this is an email that it's very long, but it's very nice. And I don't know if I should edit it down or not. It's a sad story. I don't know. Do you want to hear it? I mean, the guy took the time to write it, and it's very nice. So I maybe.
How many pages are you holding right now?
62. It's 62 pages.
Like the letter.
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna edit it for air because it's 4 pages long.
Oh, jeez.
And but it's very nice though, and it's a long story, and it's very sad. So, but we'll get to that at another day. But here's some shorter listener emails. Okay, so we'll do.
Boy. These are
some
always a
listener
trip.
Emails. Yeah, these are nice. Actually, this one's interesting. This is another person who apparently was listening to one of the morning drives. And he says, "Hello, Matt. I've heard you and many LBG mention that the Civil War wasn't really that long ago. Well, I figure some math that all of us history nerds can appreciate. From Pickett's charge to Pearl Harbor was 28,646 days. From Pearl Harbor to today, which
what is
was
that in years, though?
Who the hell cares? We're talking about days, Colby. From Pearl Harbor to today, which was 11/2 when he wrote this, 29,915 days. From Appomattox Courthouse to Pearl Harbor, 28,000 days. From victory in Japan to today, 28,568 days. Kind of wild. James Geisler, thank you for all you do to help keep history alive. Thank you very much, James.
So I believe it's 70 days from Pickett's charge to Pearl
78 days?
Or 78 years. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go 78 years.
All right. Well,
I can't do
crazy
that math.
thing that you can, honestly, if you think about this, so just like growing up, there's very few of them now, but growing up, there was a good number of World War II veterans still around, right? I mean, you can most people our age had grandparents that were in World War II. You could talk to them. You could talk to their friends. I mean, that was pretty common. Well, for those guys, when they were growing up, Civil War veterans were very common still.
Yeah, so you may have the numbers like this, but you think of it in terms of the generations.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's way closer than people. Like
Well,
my
Bob
mom could remember when the last Civil War veteran died.
Right, I was just going to say,
like
Bob
my
Steenstra.
mom, not my
right.
grandmother or my great grandmother, my mom.
That's what Bob Steenstra always says is when he gives tours, not always, but he'll point out that when he was born or the year after he was born, the last Civil War veteran died.
Yeah.
Wow. It was 1901 is when he was born. So yeah, it's 1950 something. So it is very close.
I mean,
it all depends on how you look at it.
Joe Wheeler is a general in the Army during the Spanish-American War.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Hey, Matt, honestly, I've been meaning to sign up for months to talk about Patreon. The Kent Masterson Brown episodes reminded me to do it. Love the show and the stuff you guys do, so it's been a long time coming. We've communicated on Instagram before, which is possibly how my name looks familiar. I live in Buffalo, but I try to make it down 3 to 4 times a year. My last time down, I did a tour of the wheat field with Eric Lindblade, and Mike Lentz came along. So that's Mike Canfield there. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you for your patronage over at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg.
So tying this into Catholicism, Matt, you're touching people.
Wow.
You sick bastard.
I know.
Things have taken a turn.
Well, it was the time that Father Mulcahy went into the place and people were laughing. I wasn't, and it was a mess.
Do you think, Matt, with Catholicism, do you think part of the thing that
You can't breathe now.
Going to hell.
Do you think part of the reason why you not necessarily turned off but distracted and didn't feel connected is there's very little spiritualism in Catholicism, it seems.
Yeah, it's a lot of rules.
The evangelical denominations are almost inundated with spiritualism.
So I can't. I've only
two opposites.
Yeah, I've only been to
Opposites.
a couple of Catholic Christian churches, so I can't speak with any kind of authority on what. But I'll tell you this: to me, God and religion are two different things. And
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and I don't feel that any of the revealed religions get it. And I think they're all political tools. That's how they started. And, well, not how they started, but how they were eventually incorporated into Western society. You disagree?
Well, I would. All of them are.
Well,
I think there are pastors and churches out there that are geared towards doing things that God would not agree with. And and like severely.
You talking like Joel Osteen?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to drop names.
He's one of the worst offenders.
He watches.
But yes, because listen, I can kind of talk on that because I'm like the same denomination that Joel Osteen is, right? Like,
which is what? What is his denomination? Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
What is Pentecostal?
Pentecostal would be like it's Southern Baptist, really. I mean, if you really want to get like in the weeds, but it's what evangelical, like when you hear evangelical in the news and people talk about those kind of churches, they're more times than not going to be a Pentecostal church. Pentecostal comes from in Acts, like after Jesus is crucified and all that stuff. They're all the disciples are in this upper room after the fact, and they I guess encounter like the Spirit of God, and they all speak in tongues of this. There's like this big thing made out of it, but it's just in this one chapter, and the Pentecostal denomination takes that and kind of runs hog wild with it.
Really? Yeah.
Joe, you're Jewish, right?
As a matter of fact, I am.
And
yes.
what do you guys? What's your big beef? Not your beef, but what do you do?
I don't think we're really
chosen ones, man.
We are the chosen people.
So you don't really need to do anything.
We're not really into the whole heaven and hell thing. I think we believe that there are many paths to God. That spirituality is important.
Where do you go when you die?
Poughkeepsie? So Joe, tell me, do people in the Jewish faith did they argue this topic a lot? Is it pretty unanimous across
What topic?
the board?
Heaven or hell?
Heaven being an actual place.
I don't believe we think that heaven is an actual place. We certainly don't believe that hell is an actual place. That there is no huge punishment for our sins.
So you could do like anything you want,
Which is interesting because that's a huge departure from the original.
Right, because that sounds like what was Robert E. Lee and all them? What is their denomination? I always
Confederate.
forget. No.
Lost cause.
Where they think like everything is God's will. So like they
God's will.
Even when they sin, technically it's God's will. So like it's all written off. There's a certain.
Oh, I never knew that. I never heard of that.
Jonathan Edwards.
You guys, you know what I'm talking about, Joe?
Is he like a Presbyterian?
No,
There's no time.
There is no time.
Anglican?
I told you there is no time for that.
I hate that we do this so late because my brain is mush by the time and I can't remember anything.
Was it like Church of England?
No.
Well, that would be Anglican.
Okay.
I think he was Episcopalian, but there's a version there's like a. I can't
Internet, do your thing. Listeners,
Yeah,
please.
listeners,
do your thing.
please. We must know the answer to this.
They're a member of the church, the Christ Church.
Christ Church.
All right.
Okay. That's Chris Morano, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the team. We'll bring Chris in a little bit.
He's so pretty.
I do like that. Logically, when you look at the Bible, though, the Christian faith is so that everybody that's not Jewish still has a path. To righteousness, because the Jewish people are obviously they're the chosen ones. They're born into it, right? Like they are God's.
So what is it when you're chosen? What does that mean? So that means you don't have to worry about pissing off God because
they have to be born into. They have a crap ton of rules they have to live by.
No pork, like the strict ones. You can't have the lights on Saturday to sundown.
Sabbath.
Those are
like you can't
no
do any
lights,
work.
Right. Are those Hasidics?
Like no work, not even turn on the lights, turn on.
Those are Hasidic
Those are like
Jews?
the ultra Orthodox.
Orthodox.
Yes.
Just like pretty much any denomination you're going to talk about, there is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Of
Right, because you have Hasidic, but then you have Orthodox. Like the Hasidic Jews, I always think about the Jews when you see in New York City that have the locks,
the curls,
not the locks.
What are they called? What are the side curls called?
Those are called
There's a term for them.
Payas.
So my mother was Jewish. My dad tried to raise me as a Southern Baptist. So I was very confused religiously growing
the
up.
Pentecostal upbringing.
Oh yeah.
With
So
Southern Baptist.
We didn't do the dancing with serpents and drinking strychnine.
No, listen. I don't. I got no serpents in a Pentecostal church. That's some. You got to really get into the backwoods to
what
find
is
that.
What is that though?
I don't know, man. There's like some really backwoods stuff you probably find in Mississippi or various like deep southern states where they will do things with snakes, but it freaks me out. I mean, I grew up thinking the snakes are the devil. You know what I mean? Like that. So
I still think they're the devil.
I'm Indiana Jones when it comes to snakes.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Did you find it? It's Pais, right?
Yes.
P-A-I-S?
P-A-Y-O-S.
P-A-Y-O-S. I never
and
knew
it is
how
the
it was spelled.
Hasidic Jews.
They would like walk to temple on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use cars or anything like that.
work.
Yeah, no. I know.
Okay, it says the Jewish rule is that a man must not cut or trim his hair within a special facial region. The boundaries of this prohibited zone are on each side of the face, roughly between the middle of the ear and the eye, below a bone which runs horizontally across.
Oh man, that's specific.
It's super specific.
Isn't it just easy? That's probably just easier to just let your hair grow.
I thought of what I was trying to think of earlier, and I have to tell you before I forget.
What?
Calvinistic belief.
Calvinistic.
When you think you don't think no matter what you do, it's not really a sin because it's God's will, right?
Okay.
You can because everything is forgiven.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt, but I would have forgotten if I didn't tell you immediately.
Yeah, no, I understand. It makes sense.
So we had a menorah and the manger scene.
Okay.
So we kind of did
How did you reconcile that as a young boy? As a young man, how did you reconcile the two opposing views of Jesus Christ?
Oh
Well,
boy.
Jews don't believe Jesus Christ is
No.
the Son of God.
Correct.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
But you, Joe, you identify as a Jew because your mother was a Jew, correct?
So I identify ethnically as a Jewish man.
I do like that. I appreciate that she threw that out there.
Have you done 23andMe?
No, I'm never doing 23.
Because you don't want to find out you're not really Jewish.
I spent so much time in the Navy. There is no way I'm doing 23.
No, you don't collect other people's DNA.
He's worried about
That's not how that
finding-
works.
Worried about finding out he
There's
has
no way.
illegitimate children.
Mom, if you're listening, I don't mean that. I'm a good Jewish boy.
So, in other words, you're afraid that around the world there's a whole bunch of Joes running around there.
I am. It's Ashkenazi Jew. Is
Ashkenazi, right?
Yeah, Ashkenazi is the mostly makeup of my heredity. I am.
Oh, wow.
I am from the Russian branch. My family was kicked
That's
out
interesting.
during the purges of Nicholas II.
Nicholas II. Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
going way back.
Like Fiddler on the Roof.
I was going to say Fiddler on the Roof is literally based off those people.
I am required. to
Veronica
cry.
used to sing a song from Fiddler on the Roof. Go ahead.
Yeah, that would never stop being funny.
No.
So Joe, like ethnically being Jewish, I mean, how are you feeling about everything going on right now overseas?
Oh, let's get really heavy now.
Hey man, everybody's thinking about it. I just brought it out.
I know.
Yep.
I've been trying not to talk about it because it really pisses me off.
So this is Israel's 9/11, right?
Yeah.
More or
They
less,
came in,
yeah.
they crossed the border, and they murdered thousands of innocent people. Now, the response has been horrific, and lots of innocent Palestinians have suffered. So while I am sympathetic with the Israeli people over the atrocities committed by Hamas, I also feel a sense of sympathy towards the Palestinian people, and I realized that I am not smart enough to figure out a solution. I hope somebody smarter than me
That's such a cop out.
Oh,
Come on, that's a cop out.
To be sympathetic to both sides is a thing. Like you can't be sympathetic to both at the same time, and that's okay.
I was sympathetic to the people in Afghanistan that were caught between us and the Taliban. You know what I mean?
Because they don't have a choice.
They're just stuck in the middle.
I was going to bring up as an example when we hit the beaches in Iraq. What did they tell us here in Baghdad, between the beach and Baghdad? What are we supposed to do?
Hearts and minds, baby.
Well, when we were headed to Fallujah, it was a free fire zone, right?
No, listen, there are times throughout the war where, so there's only so much that you can do, though, right? Like, I mean, if you're being realistic about warfare, you can have all the technology in the world, but at the end of the day, the crappy part is there's a lot of people around the world right now, but specifically I'm referencing there's a lot of people here in America that aren't recognizing the fault that Hamas has in how bad things are, because they're not letting civilians leave. They're setting up their military installations underneath civilian structures, right? Like they're doing things completely against the Geneva Convention because they don't have to uphold the Geneva Convention, right? Like they're not part of that. So at the end of the day, like, there's only so much control you can have in a war zone where what effect, like there's collateral damage. Even the U.S. has collateral damage, and I would like to think we're probably the best in the world at avoiding killing innocents. But even we will slip over that line sometimes. And really, there's only so much you can do. You still have to pursue the war. I mean, they had so many innocent people killed when Hamas launched that attack. Babies. I mean, like, you hear about terrible, terrible stories. And dude, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, if everybody over there right now dropped their weapons and it was up to one side or the other, I think if Hamas dropped their weapons, never again to be aggressive or offensive against Israel, I don't think Israel would attack ever. Where if it was reversed, I think it would be a complete opposite story.
Yeah, I think it is a shame for the Hamas to hide behind the civilians and put them in between their just desserts and Israel. But unfortunately, you got to do something. Israel, it's the only Jewish state in the world. I think we seem to have forgotten what happened to them in Germany and in Europe in the 1930s and 40s.
And they fought very hard to have that state.
Yeah,
like,
and
it didn't exist for.
It's very important, I think, that does not happen again. And
it seems like there's a lot of people after this attack that are really on board with it.
And they're in our country, and it bothers me.
Chant that you keep hearing everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, if you really know what they're saying, that means eliminating the state of Israel.
It means finishing the job that that jerk off with the mustache couldn't finish. And that scares me to death. Yep. And it should scare you, Joey. It should scare you.
I think if there's ever going to be a downfall of civilization, it's going to be caused by a religious war. I do think that'll be,
I would not be surprised.
The thing that
actually, who was I was just watching something the other day, and somebody predicted that a long time ago.
I just saw the same.
Who was it
I just saw the same thing. It was back in the 1800s, the Third World War.
Yeah, the Third World War.
I just saw that. Saw that same thing, dude. I can't remember the guy's name either. Talking about the Illuminati, which I don't really get into.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist guy, but what he said was wildly nerve-wracking.
It was very
what's happening right now in the world.
Exactly. Anyway, okay. Joey didn't like that.
Let's lighten the subject here.
That was painful. Look, somebody is always going to hate somebody. That is just a fact. There's always going to be
human emotion.
They don't look like me. They don't pray like me. They don't love like me. And I'm going to find a way. And it's not just anti-Semitism that we have to stamp out. It is hate against those that are different than us. Right? Yeah. Those other people.
But you just said it. Somebody's always going to hate somebody.
Right. And
so the stamping out, I think, is virtually impossible.
Well, until we as a society, as a world, are able to stand up to that and say this is wrong, then it's going to continue. But it's happened since the dawn of time for the last 5,000 years.
That's why I don't think you'll extinguish it. It's a fire that'll never go out, unfortunately.
I don't think so either. But
I think the best thing to do if you want to avoid it is to hide on a mountaintop somewhere, which is my plan.
I do want to ask you, Joe, why do you think out of the three Abrahamic faiths, why do you think Christians and Jews get along so well? But it seems as though like the
We do.
I mean, we really do.
You don't think we do?
I mean, I think in America that we do, but if you look historically...
Historically,
historically, the Christian church, I mean, they, like, you think about the, what was the era called where you had these priests going around torturing everybody?
Inquisition.
Yes,
the
Spanish Inquisition. I mean, so
that wasn't nice.
Listen, you can't, historically, you got to remember, people are going ham on things, and religion carried a great deal of power back then. But we'll say in the modern era. Let's just say in the modern era to be fair, right?
Oh, it's because we look like each other.
You know what, dude?
No.
I think honestly,
not because we look like each other.
I don't think that's the whole story, but I do think there's something there. Why do you think the war between us and Japan was so much more vicious than us and Germany? You know,
because we fought differently.
No. It wasn't. It had nothing
You could
to do with
other
fighting
them.
differently.
Yeah,
We othered the Germans.
Not in the same
bad.
way,
Oh,
because
stop
It wasn't
Not as
until
bad at all.
I'll tell you that it wasn't until the last year of the war in Germany that it got as vicious as it was in Japan from the start of the war.
Yeah, but I think European warfare and Asian warfare are two different things, and you had a clashing of cultures, and it's oversimplifying very complicated things to say it's based on looks.
I mean, it's not solely based on.
Oh,
looks.
no.
I think there's much more to the. But I do think that is a factor because.
It's a factor, but it's not.
It's like a subconscious thing, right?
Yeah, we could preach the Japanese were even subhuman, and I think it made the Marines easier to
kill them,
to go in there. Yeah.
Well, sure,
absolutely.
but we have to do that with everybody. We had to do the Confederates had to do it with the Yankees. The Yankees had to do it.
But again, that doesn't happen until the end of the. I'm talking like with Japan, that was from the beginning to the end. What you're talking about is the last year of the war when it gets like that. You're talking like Overland Campaign to the end of the war, right, where it gets super vicious.
And I read a book on that. I believe it was called War Without Mercy, and this is just coming from my brain. That said that very thing. Those were the others, and the war in the Pacific was different than the war in Europe because of the characters that we were able to build.
But the characters are based on culture. The culture is vastly different than European culture.
Which is why it was so vicious, because the whole thing could be othered.
Yeah.
And it made it easier to pretend like they weren't human.
But they fought by different rules. They had kamikaze pilots. What did the Germans have? No, they created what was called Goliaths. You know, it was like it wasn't like remote controlled, but it was like a automatic explosive. You know? Like it was a different culture. We fought the same way as the Germans. We came from the same culture. So we could other them to a certain extent, but we understood them because we were essentially the same. The Japanese, it was like it might as well have been from Mars. Yeah. It was a completely different culture.
That's
basically what we're saying.
We're all on board.
Into what we're saying.
Well, no, we're not on board because somebody was saying it's because they look differently, and I think that's an oversimplification because culture and looks are not the same.
It's one piece of
they
why.
factor
It is
in
a
together,
piece.
though. They do.
Of course they do, but I think culture outweighs the looks. I think the looks are the easy thing to notice and mock, but if the cultures were the same, I don't think the looks would have made a difference. That's what I think. That's my take on the human condition.
Maybe you might be somewhat right, but
it's not politically correct to say that. You're not allowed to think that because that means that.
Dude, this episode is going to get canceled. So
I know half the audience left already.
Still live?
Yeah, we're still live, but everybody's talking about something else.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
We were just doing listener email. Thanks whoever got us on that one.
Right.
I found Addressing Gettysburg a few years ago by Googling for a podcast around the anniversary of the battle. I grew up in York County and took several school trips to Gettysburg in addition to family vacations. Those trips gave me a good foundation of knowledge, but as an adult, I wanted a deeper dive. Addressing Gettysburg gives me that. I really like conversations with LBGs and anything that teaches me things I don't know about the battle town, civilians, etc. I decided to become a patron to thank you for the hours of education and fun Addressing Gettysburg has provided me and to get access to more content besides just the free stuff. Hope this helps. Julia Hartenstein or Steen. Sorry, Julia. I'm not sure which way you go on that one. Thank you very much, Julia. And finally, from John DeMario III, he says, I found your podcast and immediately enjoyed it. I spent the summer listening every day and mowing my lawn to the podcast. Because Gettysburg is probably my favorite place on earth, I had to join your Patreon and contribute any way I can. I want to make sure I get all the content. You can count on me to ask annoying questions and request obscure topics. Sorry for the long-winded email. There was a lot more to it than this. Don't know a lot about other young people who like what I do. Thanks, Matt. So I guess John is a youngster who actually likes old farts like us. So there you go. Thank you very much, John.
Man. I love hearing young people being into, U.S. history, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see. And, Pete Carmichael always makes the point that we always say, kids aren't into history these days and everything like that. But they are. They are. They're into it, and we're just not giving them the credit for it. There's just not a lot of them. But they're definitely into it. There are definitely youngsters into it.
Oh, and it's up to us to find the way to make it relevant for them.
Yeah, of course.
I think the generation. Oh boy, here we go.
Well, here we go.
Here we go. All right, so
It's all about
Joe.
interpretation. It's all about how you interpret the history and relate it to this new audience, because every generation is a new audience.
That's
and
right.
They take the
That's right.
information in a different way.
The question is, Bethany, do you want fun or serious?
Fun.
All right, here we go then. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Bethany's News.
And now, all the news that's fit to print and a good deal that's not. With AG Today's lead anchor, Bethany Yingling.
Sidewalk conditions and weekend events and cars crashing into Bethany's got it and brings it all to you.
Dude, your vocals are crushing.
News, Bethany's news, Bethany's news. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Let's go.
Where did this idea come from?
Bethany's News is brought to you by HistoryFix.com. Historic eras currently range over on HistoryFix from the 1st to the 21st centuries. Our team of curators brings you the most comprehensive and authentic historical content available. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive 20%. That's 20% off.
I have a sponsor for my news.
Yes. Off the first year, ladies and gentlemen.
That's 1 year.
The first year's subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code ADGBURG. That's ADGBURG. Every subscription begins with a 7-day risk-free trial. And after signing up, download our History Fix app. Most places you stream your shows from. Escape into history with History Fix. All right, Bethany, welcome. We missed you. And what is in the news?
I just want to say thank you to History Fix because I feel like they sponsored me specifically. But
Actually, I just had the paper there and I was giving you time to find your news. So I said, well, you know what? We'll throw them a bone here. There you go.
You.
But we are going to
real
have the
quick,
new sponsor. Go
before
ahead.
we need to do sidewalk conditions.
Yeah, how are the sidewalks?
Jamie?
Oh, Jamie. Hello, Jamie.
Have a seat. Real
Jamie-
quick. So we were at the Giving Spree.
My hoop is in the way.
Yeah, shift that.
And Jamie decided that to represent the Children's Museum, she would wear a hoop skirt for the first time ever.
Oh, very nice.
And she's so cute and adorable, so I told her she had to come with me today.
There you go.
So
there you go.
I invited my first guest to the show.
Oh, that's very nice. How you doing, Jamie?
Doing really good.
It's good to see you. This is a pleasant surprise.
This isn't a pleasant
This
surprise.
isn't a pleasant surprise. It's a wonderfully pleasant surprise. Jamie, you look very nice in your dress there. You got a little cape on. I like that.
Yes. Well, I have Bethany to actually thank for this because this is her lovely loaner guard.
Oh, really? Very nice.
Very wonderful.
Yeah.
And if I ever can pinch this and even just wear it down the street wearing it in jeans, I totally would do it in a heartbeat. This thing's great.
What is that clasp up there? Is that just poking into the fabric, or is that actually part of the fabric?
Sewn in.
It's sewn in. Okay.
I think it's poking into my neck a little bit.
It looks like it.
It's beautiful.
And how did we do at the Giving Spree?
So when we left, and it was over at 7, they had just announced like 15 minutes before that they were at 2.4 million.
Wow. Good for them. Now, they are...
The Adams County Community Foundation.
There you go.
Is in charge of it.
Very nice. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
How do you get on the receiving end of the Giving Spree?
Well, first you have to be a nonprofit.
Okay. See, that's another reason I need to be a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to let people know that you can still donate to the people that are the nonprofits that are signed up for this until midnight tonight. They're still accepting donations. So you can go on the Adams County Community Foundation's website. Not only do they have a fun ticker with where they are at as far as the moolah, but they also have, the list of everybody that's on there. And there's over 100 different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are part of it as the Children's Museum.
48 is great.
48 is great. That's our number. But
what does that mean?
That's our number, like our booth number.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I also want to put out there that there are a lot of organizations in Adams County that this is like a third of their operating budget for the year.
Okay.
at what they get from this giving spree extravaganza. So if you have a little extra and are able to give, there are a lot of very deserving local nonprofits
Awesome.
that are.
And how
out
would
there.
they give?
They can, well, at this point, you only have one way to give. You have to go on to the Adams County Community Foundation's website, and they have a big giving spree banner up there, and you can donate from now until midnight.
Okay.
If you were lucky enough to receive a form from a local nonprofit or from the Adams County Community Foundation yourself, you can turn that in, and that can be mailed in at any time. But know that if you haven't gotten one of those, the only other way to give is online.
Okay. And Brian on the phone, I'll get to you when Bethany gets to the historic news because that'll be more apropos. Go ahead.
Apropos. Okay, other fun news. Today's Thursday, guys. We had our local municipal elections, and there were some fun, exciting developments.
Yes.
Did you talk about this already?
I mentioned it to him, but we haven't talked about
Before the show,
Okay.
we did.
Before, we were talking about it before the
So
show. Let me
fun-
get some appropriate music for this here.
Wait, I have serious ones first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the serious ones, the Borough Council, we added, Chad Allen Carr is still in there and Matt Moon is still there. But we added Alicia Sanders, who is a civics teacher at Gettysburg School District. So she's going to be a new Borough Council member.
All right.
And there were a lot of things like school board stuff, which I'm not going to get into because that's going to be way too much for people. But the big one, now you can play the music. So the big one was our friend, Kirsten Bell or Kirsten Depps.
Right.
Demps, however she pronounces it. Basically the lady who claimed to own the Warriors
Right, yeah.
logo. She did lose, as of this moment, by 1 vote.
That is astounding to me.
Yeah, dude, that's unbelievable.
Now, here's the interesting part.
All right.
They haven't counted, the people who mailed in yet. So she could get more. She could still win.
Dude, if she wins, I'm gonna say check her ballots because I think a bunch of people that died in the '60s.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is, Colby? If she wins, I think it's people pulling a prank. People are like, let's vote her in because it's going to be entertaining for the next however many years it's going to
Shame on
be.
them because she's probably gonna do other things that'll just ruin.
But she's running for a seat on Borough Council.
Yeah.
Listen, man, people get so upset about anything that the borough council decides on right now. Could you imagine if that lady is making the decision? I mean, good Lord.
I know. No, I'm with you.
And the best part about it is that she said if it doesn't change, meaning she wins with the write-ins, is that she will demand a recount.
So if she loses,
Yeah, if
she'll
she
demand
loses,
a recount.
she'll demand a recount.
She's gonna John Kerry us, huh?
She's gonna John Kerry us into next year.
No, that was Al Gore.
Oh, Al Gore. You're right. You're right.
She's gonna Al Gore us into next year.
Same opponent, different election. So if she loses, if she loses after the write-in comes in,
Yeah.
she's going to demand a recount.
That's what she said
I
in
would
an
tell her
interview.
only if she counts them herself.
Yeah,
I
really.
mean, now, to be
This music
frank,
also is
it is not like we have bajillions of votes to count.
Exactly, but no,
It's
but
only
that's
a
not
couple
the point.
hundred.
How many people are in Adams County, you think?
24.
I
I think we got about 100,000 in Adams County.
100,000?
No, we do not. It's
Yeah, I
like
think so.
it's like
In the
6,000.
county.
Oh, in the county.
But
she's not running for the
Chambersburg
county.
isn't in-
she's just running for borough council.
Right.
So it was only like 220 to 219.
Because what is Gettysburg's population? 7,000?
Yeah.
Like
Ish.
the
Yeah,
borough?
ish.
Ish.
And I think that's including students, isn't it?
No.
Oh, so it's 7,000 without the students.
Correct.
And then the students come in, and that's
Are they
about
able to,
9,000.
Are the students able to vote?
No, no.
They would vote
Well,
in their
I mean,
home municipality
yeah.
unless they
But-
have registered to vote in Adams County.
Right. But it's they have a home of record essentially. They when they come to school here, this is not their
No.
typically this is not their
No.
Correct.
No. So guys, it's still ongoing. Just be prepared.
If she wins, I've lost all faith in humanity.
Oh my God, I know. Well, certainly the humanity here.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
My theory is that some of those are people who just saw Democrat and voted.
So people that just
Straight
vote down
Yeah,
party
definitely.
lines.
Because the
Left
rest
no
of
party
them, the rest of the people that won were all Democrats.
Are
So-
they really?
So it's just
Yeah.
straight down. Okay.
How,
So
so,
then-
wait, how many people sit on the council?
Now you're asking me a
9? I
question
think it's
I don't
9.
know.
So
Yeah,
out of
9.
the 9,
Let's say 9.
what's the split?
Why are you asking me questions
Well,
that you
you're
know
the
I'm not
news
going to
lady.
know?
I don't know. I
Come
felt
on.
like you knew.
I reported what happened this week.
Right.
Not
how
what
many, okay, how many Democrats got voted in? I guess is
there
what
were 3,
Okay.
and then 1 Republican, which is the guy that.
So there's only 4
Beat her.
wards.
Yeah, because 3 people probably. I think they might split the election on the board.
So maybe it's
like,
8. I think there's 2 per
No.
ward.
Yeah.
And then,
and then
the
there's
mayor.
an extra one.
The mayor.
this music, bro.
Yeah, this
I feel
music
like I'm
is
watching.
cray.
I feel like I'm watching
cartoon.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
You know, Bugs Bunny is sneaking up on Elmer
Here's the
Fudd
deal.
right now.
I'll make you a deal.
Go ahead.
Next week, I will find out all these questions.
All right,
the
write
answers
them
to all
down.
these questions, and I will report back.
All right. What
in
else?
the news.
What else you got in the news?
So in the news, we have just a reminder that the movie premiere for the Gettysburg Christmas
Yes.
is November 27th.
That's right.
That will be at the Majestic. However, it is sold out. Now, here's
right.
some exciting adventure news, guys. It will also be premiering. I don't know if that's the right word.
No, it's premiering on the 27th at the Majestic.
but then it's also showing
It'll be showing.
at the seminary at Valentine Hall on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're going to do a couple showings, it looks like, each day.
Yeah.
And tickets will go on sale tomorrow.
Thank you.
That is right. Tomorrow, November 10th. You want to get online and you want to do it fast.
And that's for the showing, not the premiere. The
That's
premiere is
correct. Yep,
sold out.
The premiere is sold out.
And let me tell you, can I tell you about the premiere? I went to Chris.
Did you just hit yourself with your microphone?
No, I grabbed it
Okay.
and pulled it. Chris Webb, who is Bo's girlfriend, but
Yes.
also she has been like a producer. She's his right hand man on this. She and I met with a couple of the guys from the theater, the Majestic, to go over, I don't know, some final details. And because I've been asked to host the panel afterwards. I've told you this before. I did not realize that the theater is sold out. So there's 800 people.
So you're going to be a little nervous?
I just piddled my pants talking about it right now. I'm going to be very nervous, and it's going to be scary for me
Yeah.
because 200 is the most I've been in front of. So 800 people. But I got to tell you something. When I was standing there, we were standing on the stage, and he was
you
like,
can't see him.
Yeah, you
No,
can't
you-
see anybody.
"You kind of can."
He sounds like he's going to cry.
You can like.
That was with all the lights up.
I understand this. But actually, well, no, because we are going to turn the lights up because we want to take questions from the audience. So we're going to have to turn up the house lights, and people are going to shout out the questions, and then I got to relay it to the actors because, see, it's weird. We on the stage can hear everybody clearly. The people in the audience won't be able to hear it. So, like, I have to relay it to these people. Anyway, point is, very scared. Very scared.
You'll be great. You'll be great. I have all the faith in the
feel
world.
very. I said to Bo, Bo, I need to watch this movie like 60, 70 more times because it's, Gettysburg was easy because I've seen that movie, inside and out, and I've interviewed these people before. I knew stories that I don't know anything about them.
You do.
I mean, I do, but
honey,
I
you
don't.
do.
I just don't know.
I'm telling you right now. So just so you know.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yes, we're moving on from you.
Okay.
A discussion
More
panel.
news.
A discussion panel with Bo Brinkman will follow the 6 p.m. screening on Saturday. You have to register for these things.
I'll also be there in that one.
You'll be registered for that.
No, I'll also be doing the panel with Bo
okay.
on that day.
So just be aware that you'll want to go online like as soon as you wake up in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that you
Those
can
are
register for each and every one of them and just sit there all day.
Yeah. I mean,
And
just
then
sit there
sell
all day
your
and watch them.
tickets on eBay.
Matt, do you know if if the movie is going to be put out on any of the streaming services? Like,
Great
after all
question,
these
Colby.
hearings?
People ask this all the time. I was just having lunch with Bo and Chris today, and I said, people are asking me, where can they watch it? And he said, we don't know yet, but we will someday.
I like that answer.
It was like a political chant.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but we will someday.
Ask not what you
ask. Yeah.
Country can do for you. Back to the JFK voice. I mean, this is full circle.
What are you doing?
But well, you missed it. We were on a big JFK kick at the beginning.
No, she was asking about something else. I was looking for something.
He's been very distracted this episode. I've been noticing he's been
having
off.
a lot of fun with the
I was
board.
trying when we were getting all heavy about Israel and everything. I was trying to stay out of it because I don't want to bring the show down. And then I was trying to find a moment to step in and say, okay, can we move this along to stupidness? Because this is the show to be stupid on, whereas the history shows are the ones where we could be serious. So that was, I was kind of just trying to think my way out of that
He was waiting for you to be
situation.
stupid, Colby.
And so we started talking about local politics.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, but local politics is hysterical.
exactly.
So, Jamie, sidewalk conditions? Can you
Yes.
give us any?
How are the sidewalk conditions?
They're very good today. Any leaves out on the sidewalks I've noticed, and not to cover up the yellow tape blocking all of the curbs that are bent up from the trees all
Sure.
growing through them. So far so good today. And
Good.
no ice. So
No ice. Very good. You love the sidewalk conditions, Jamie.
I do indeed.
I mean, we've alluded to this before, where Bethany will say, and for
Jamie.
Thank you, for Jamie, sidewalk conditions, and I never heard you say. So you must have said something to them about
Said something
about
to me
it,
at work.
to her at work about it, and so that's the inside joke now for everybody else who is wondering. This is
I
the
walk
Jamie she's
everywhere.
talking about.
So Jamie walks or bikes everywhere she goes.
Right.
And I'm scared for her sometimes because she goes
Why? She's
places.
probably the healthiest person in the world.
Well, no. I mean, as far as that is concerned,
Yeah.
yes.
I've seen
but
the drivers, right?
some of these people,
yeah.
like she takes her life into her own hands every time she goes out there.
It is scary.
Yeah.
It is scary the way.
But
it
I
is out
wanted
there.
her to be able to say. Plus, I know we've talked about this obliquely, but about having her be an on the street correspondent.
Yes, that would be cool. It's like, just call you, Jamie. How are where are you tonight? And how are the sidewalk conditions? I'm on beautiful, and the sidewalks are looking okay. And then
Get
and
her
that's
with a
it.
live feed, dude. That'd be great.
Yeah, just in and out. Boom.
Yeah.
Looking good out here.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can be like that guy that they go down to at the lines in football games.
There's only
have to
one
put on-
lady-
Correspondent.
You have
only
to put
one
on a
woman standing
1920s
today.
voice though to do it.
Oh yeah, you got to do like.
Pushing those walking buttons. I'll stand out in the middle of the road and be like, they're not stopping today.
So what else you got?
All right, that's it for real news.
All right, and then you've got. I still don't have
Historical
your.
news.
Oh, historical news. Okay, we got to come up with some for that. So go
I
ahead.
enjoy this segment, man. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I do
this
too.
Is great.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Historical news. Did you have somebody on the phone you wanted to talk to?
Oh yeah, but I want you to get some stuff in first.
Okay. Gettysburg compiler from November 10th, 1863. They announced the Dedication Day ceremony. It was the first time people in Adams County had really seen it in print. The headline, National Cemetery, Thursday, November 10th. This day will be a memorable one in the history of Gettysburg, following in the footsteps of the great battle which made our town one of fame and historic interest. The whole country has been excited, but few places have been the center of such intense interest as has been exhibited during the months succeeding the great battles of the first 3 days of July, and the feeling has culminated in the grand consecration of a national cemetery on Thursday, the 19th. So this is like the first time the town has really seen in print that we're going to be having this. And they actually printed David Wills's letter to Andrew Curtin, the governor, talking about what was going to be there. And at that point in time, the letter written on November 7th, so not that far before the 19th, they had said, we invited the president and the vice president per your suggestion, but nothing about Lincoln actually coming or anything happening or, hey, they said they got the invite.
Well, let's now that that's Civil War, let's go to Brian on the phone. Brian, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Whose idea was the historical news? Because I think that's
Bethany's. That's a great idea, isn't it?
yeah, it's pretty good.
He sounded so enthusiastic.
I'm sorry.
Is it okay?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was fabulous. I think it's always fabulous. I think it's a good idea. I like it.
Oh, good. I'm
Good.
glad you do. I was worried there that you
Yeah,
were going to
I
say, by the way, Bethany, it's crap.
No.
Okay.
It's good that you sat out of the conversation where everybody was talking about religion because it sounded like monkeys trying to screw up football.
That's pretty much what it was.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to talk about that shit. Go ahead. What do you got, Brian?
I'm pretty sure I heard a Pentecostal say that there's no spirituality in Catholicism. So at that point, everything is just wild and crazy.
Well, I mean, as a Catholic, I would agree that I left Catholicism because I didn't feel a spiritual connection to anything.
And then we're back on the topic.
Here we go again.
And you sucked us back in.
It's like the Jeffrey dude.
Damn it, Brian. Damn you.
Yeah, I know. Listen. 95% of Catholics that pray the Rosary actually do it in a repetition way that's not correct, and they should be meditating on the mysteries. There's a lot of spirituality in it. The problem is it's not communicated.
I got a question for you though, Brian. Are you on speakerphone?
I am.
Can you take it off speakerphone because you sound very thin and tinny and far away?
Like you're 20 feet away from the phone.
You're hiding from your wife?
Hiding from your wife. So why are we on speakerphone?
I mean, that's like the bat signal, really.
I'm in the truck. Hold on. Here. Is this better?
Oh my God!
Oh, there
like
you are.
worlds apart. Okay.
Holy.
Okay.
Now
Gotta
I can really
hide to talk history nowadays.
I know. All right, Brian. You say here you're calling about how long ago the Civil War was. What's your point about that?
Thank you. Okay. So I wanted to put it in a different perspective. So, and I tell this when I do table for the SUV and stuff. I tell people, we look at anything with horses and no technology, no electricity. We look at it as so far away.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandmother is 102 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She's still alive. She's in Florida. Both of her grandparents fought in the Civil War, one for the North, one for the South.
Sure, I believe that.
So she has met a Civil War veteran with her own eyes. It
Yep.
wasn't that long ago.
No.
What really screws us up is that we went from the horse and buggy to the moon in like 60 years.
Exactly.
We went from the combustion engine to the moon in 60 years.
Yep.
Now, the
That
crazy thing
screws
is-
everything up.
Aliens.
Yeah. And aliens. That Jamie's got a great point. Aliens as well. No, but you're right. It does. It's so different. And now we're walking around with computers in our pockets. I'm talking to you. You're watching us through the internet. We have equipment that makes us sound almost like we're on a radio station. Like it's all affordable and it's all in our hands. And it makes it seem like it was thousands of years ago, and it wasn't thousands of years ago.
100%. That's the whole point of the Children's Museum.
Yeah.
Do you think it's crazy that we haven't been back to the moon since we went the first time?
Oh, here
Now
we
we
go.
go.
Oh, God.
All right, how many can we touch on?
Not the moon.
We went back in a
Conspiracy day.
sequentially at that time, but since that era, we haven't gone back to the moon.
Because it's probably because we were bored with it.
Because it wasn't made of cheese.
It wasn't made of cheese.
How disappointed.
I'm just saying. Think if they kept it up. Think about where we would be now, though. That's
well,
the
that's
point
true.
I'm
We'd be
getting.
landing on the sun.
I don't have to think about it. I've seen Stargate.
Who brought up aliens?
Jamie did.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I'm not a big alien guy. I've never been a big alien guy.
You just got to get
But
Sigourney
lately, I've
Weaver on
been
your
like,
side.
What,
but
Brian?
lately I've been like looking at like no, I'm talking about the I've never been a big alien guy. Like I don't give a crap. I do my thing. But lately I've been looking around and there's a lot of talk about aliens with the Congress and all these Navy pilots coming out since they put the new radars in and all this stuff. And I'm going, why is no one talking about the aliens? Like there's something going on with aliens. But no one's talking. No one cares. I don't think anyone gives a crap.
I think we all realize that we're toast. And whether it's a nuke or aliens or our own hand, it doesn't matter. Let's just get it over with. I think that's the way everybody's looking at it.
Yeah.
Or they choose to bury their heads in the sand and go, whatever. I'm going to enjoy my life until
The aliens come.
The aliens come and take us away.
The cloud people.
Somebody has a good point here. Dragoon says, no, it wasn't Dragoon. Dennis Cox says, is anybody on the chat paying attention to what they're saying on the show? And then Ghost says, what show? they're having this conversation for like the last hour about music. I'm with you, audience. I'm with you. I'd rather talk about music. Brian, thank you for the call.
You know I love you. Bye-bye.
We know, and we love you too. Thank you very much, sir. All right, go ahead there, Bethany. What else you got?
Okay, Gettysburg Times from November 10th, 1913.
Right.
Headline: Use battlefield roads as models. Road in Gettysburg National Park to be used as models of construction. Apparently, the national park roads in our national park here at Gettysburg were so good, so amazingly well done and made, that the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Bureau of Good Roads requested the specifications and blueprints of our Telford and Macadam roads in the park to use elsewhere as examples.
Good for us.
Yes.
Bureau of Good Roads.
There is a Bureau of Good Roads.
Bureau of Good Roads.
Bureau.
Yeah, Bureau.
Borough.
Borough and Bureau are different.
I know. I'm from Clarion. Shut up. All right. Other headline from 1913. Prepare to this commission, the National Commission, is preparing to erect markers showing hospital locations. So this is the year that they finally were able to determine where all of the field hospitals were out on the national battlefield. And they did a survey, and they officially determined all the locations and were going to place markers at all of the hospitals for the Army of the Potomac.
Nice.
Very nice.
So
that was in what year?
Happened. That's 1913.
1913. Okay.
Apparently the monuments were placed in the spring of 1914. All right. Gettysburg Times from November 9th, 1942. Headline: Former Camp Colt leader takes Algiers.
Colt.
What did you think?
I thought you said cult.
Camp Colt.
And I was like, wow, there's a cult leader out here. Okay.
So there's a big picture of a very young Eisenhower, and it says the hard and tough American officer who commanded Camp Colt during the First World War led the American forces in the assault on African colonies and delivered such a hard blow that Algiers tumbled within a few hours. And so this is like, I just thought that was kind of cool. Like, this is before he's the president. This is before he's the
supreme
supreme commander. But they're still paying attention to him because he was here in World War I.
He's the commandant.
Isn't that cool?
He's the man. I mean, without a doubt.
Right. He the man. He the man.
I think it's interesting that as such a small town, it's always been a joke that Gettysburg has been hard to move into and become one of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to become. When do you officially become a citizen?
When
of
you
Gettysburg?
die.
And so here is Eisenhower. He's here for what? A couple years? A year? And he's one of their favored sons. He's in the front page of the newspaper.
It's a different time.
I guess so. Gettysburg Times from November 10th, 1986. Headline: New title will benefit borough. The borough is awarded $10,000 from the Pennsylvania Historic and Museum Commission to become a certified local government. This grant powers the review of nominations for the National Register of Historic Places and opened the borough up for more historic preservation grant funding. It is now what we are still considered a certified local government, one of 50 places in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's interesting.
And, yes. And we have a position in our local government, the borough, that was created because of this adding of this title, and that is the Director of Historic and Environmental Preservation, currently held by Deborah English.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Okay. And that was what year?
This is in 1986.
86. Okay. Very interesting.
And so that's HARB.
Well,
That's
HARB was already in existence.
The Historical
Architectural Review Board.
I'm sorry, Hysterical Architectural Review Board.
They were already in existence, and that's one of the reasons that we were able to become this certified local government.
Yeah. Very nice. All right. And what else? Anything else?
That's it for the.
That's all you got for the
historical
historical news. And then what's going on this weekend? Live this weekend where the action is. Go ahead.
So good, dude.
Whoa!
Spot on.
It's all covered.
Okay, events.
I'm giving you a golf clap right now.
Thank you.
So to bring it back around to Eisenhower, the Eisenhower National Historic Site has special house tours on Saturday, November 11th for Veterans Day. They will be at 11, 12, 1, and 2, and it's first come, first served. Of course, veterans and active military are free. But you can drive out to the site, but be aware that they only take 40 people per tour. So, but it's the only time it's going to be open in the month of November.
All right. Get in there.
Also pay attention to the website for the Army War College's Veterans Day events. There's just a ton of things going on there. So it's more than I can list in this.
Have you ever been up there to the what do they call it? The museum that's got the outdoor stuff with the tanks and the planes.
My son is obsessed.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm obsessed with it.
Take a ride with me up there this weekend, man.
I can.
What are you
Colby,
doing?
you got to make plans with me on the weekend like 4 months in advance.
Come on.
You're
not going to go on Veterans Day with a veteran?
Well, if this veteran had asked me at the beginning of October, yeah.
I'm going to give you all the Pentecostal guilt I can muster.
Whoa.
Listen, I just have to make a little request. Is there any chance I can just read a few of the last comments we've gotten? Because there have been some magnificent.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. I've been watching them too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
It's like a better show than what we're doing.
Beyond the battle, serpents. I mentioned this last week, but it's happening this week. The Serpents of War, an American officer's story of combat and captivity in World War I, will be at 7 p.m. on November 11th at the Beyond the Battle Museum. Tickets are $10, unless you're a member of the museum. Of course, then it's free. But that looks really cool. I asked Andrew and Dalton. He was at the Giving Spree this evening. More about that, and he was like. He actually didn't answer me. Little jerk.
What'd you ask him?
I was like, tell me more about this. And he's like, it's a program that we're doing. It's like, thank you. And then he got distracted, I guess.
Oh. So he started to answer you, then he got distracted.
Yeah, well, I don't think he really knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
All right. Seminary Ridge Museum. They are doing their Fall Fridays on the Ridge. That is November 10th, and it starts at 3 p.m. The program is Treated at the Seminary, Private John F. Chase. So they're going to be delving into people that were actually taken care of there. So that's pretty cool. So they're going to be doing these Fall Fridays on the Ridge for a while. So that's nice.
They had the Luminaria out there on Friday night, and it was going down the path that goes down to Hay Street.
I saw the pictures. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. We walked down, and Debbie, you were with us. It was me and Cindy and Debbie, and we walked down, and it was it's moving when you see it lit up like that, and it's 500 bags. It puts a whole, and then Debbie, I think you made the point. You said that's 500 out of 20,000, casualties or wounded that were left behind. So that's just a fraction.
Have you ever been to Remembrance Day Illumination?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've been, of course, and I haven't been to Antietam when they do that. I really wanted to go to that. But
incredible.
But now we're not sure if it's going to.
I've been there twice.
Oh, you're lucky. Why? Why is it not going to happen?
Well, if the government shuts down, it's happening on Friday, the 15th. So if it shuts down, we won't have the illumination. We won't be allowed in the cemetery.
Well, hopefully they'll make up for it next year.
Yeah. So
Friday the 15th. Okay, sorry.
A day that will live in infamy. Okay. The Gettysburg National Military Park Museum and Visitor Center, Children of Gettysburg, and Ticket to the Past will all be free to veterans and active military on Saturday, November 11th. Also, there, because Ralph Siegel is evil, and he's just so cute. I can't say no to him, is really what it is. We're having a history at the Cigar Fire Pit on November 11th at the Children's Museum, starting at 7 in the side yard at Rupp House. The topic will be centered around Lee and his decisions at Pickett's Charge.
Oh, nice.
And BYOC
Bring your own cigar.
Bring your own cigar.
History
And-
at the cigar?
Huh? History at the cigar fire pit.
What does at the cigar mean? At the cigar fire pit. I got it. The fire pit is the cigar fire pit. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So this is a test program. So if this goes well and I can kind of figure out some of the logistics behind it, I want to do a series of events at Spangler fire pit in the evening. That's kind of like a council of war.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out at Spangler Farm.
Oh, after dark at Spangler?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
This is
Do
my
you
plan.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could do that. Real quick.
Mhm.
Well, no, you might have this in the news, so I'll let you go.
No, go for it.
Happy birthday to the Marine Corps. And then how does the song go?
From the
halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battle till on the sea. First we fight for lunch and recess, and to keep our rooms a mess. We're the title of the teacher's #1 pest. That's what I remember
Gave
from.
us the hoorah at the end there. Listen.
Sorry, I got my songs mixed up. That's,
That though, for you, Matt, I understand.
I mean, no disrespect to the Marine Corps. I just, my brain, I remember the parody words we made up in elementary school in the middle of doing the right song. I'm so sorry about that. I should have pulled up the lyrics first.
First of all, you had to ask about the lyrics at the very beginning of that.
I did. I'd ask the song.
Taylor makes fun of me because anytime that song comes on, I to this day I have a hard time not singing it, and it's almost like.
Why do you have a hard time singing it?
I have a hard time not singing.
Oh.
You sing it every night to go to bed in boot camp.
Oh, do you really?
You say the Rifleman's Creed, and then you sing the Marine Corps hymn. Those are the last two things you do. You'll be laying in bed with your rifle, and you'll be saying the Rifleman's Creed and then singing the Marine Corps hymn.
So what is the what was where did I left off and I started going to the goofy lyrics? What were the?
You want Joe to sing it?
We are proud to wear the title of what?
We're proud to claim the title.
Claim the title.
Yeah, because you got to claim it, man. Of United States
Halls of
Marines.
Montezuma, Soldier Tripoli, to fight our country's battle land is a first we what? Or is it first we or what is
First
the?
to fight for right and freedom and keep our honor clean.
Okay.
Listen to Joe back here.
We have to learn to know. Well, I went to OCS. I had Marine Corps DIs in OCS.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
true.
All right. Great.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
listen. Hey, man, that's what happens. You get military guys in a room. It's hard not to.
I know you guys.
To
Well, you
lighten
guys
the-
can sit back there and for all the time you want. And
To lighten the mood. That was some fantastic.
thank God that was the right button. Because I actually said what I.
Successfully?
Yeah, I
can't hear
did.
the bleep in my headphones. So
Oh,
every time
really?
you do it. I'm just guessing that you.
I said that you guys could sit back there and off. All right, go ahead, Beth. What else you got?
That
Let's
was
go.
it.
I'm starving.
That was
it. All right, Colby, go ahead. Give me your favorite comment
I'm
from.
just going to read Eric Houston's comments because
Eric
they've
Houston.
been the best ones. And he has a few, but I'll get through them really quick.
Go ahead.
I'll just do his.
Go ahead.
He starts off a while ago saying, "Never underestimate Colby's ability to take Matt's silliness and ask a deep question."
I know. Seriously. For cereal.
Then he said a few comments later. He says, "This is like a whole week of morning drives in one show."
I saw that one. That's true. It's really like everything we cover in the morning. I get it out of my system. That's why I sit back and let everybody go because I get this out of my system every morning. Yeah, go ahead. What else? One more.
Then he comes back a little later on and says, "I paused watching to grab something to eat, and by the time I got caught back up, you guys have gone all over the place." Wow. He says a few lines after that. "I was reading chats thinking they were talking about rock bands on the show, but I haven't found anything close to it on the actual show. I think Matt can officially feel like he created a community."
Yeah, really, exactly. They're not even talking about the show. Tom Canavan had a good one. He goes, "For the person listening mowing their lawn, can you help me? I'm so far in the weeds with this show. I need to be weed whacked." That's my favorite everyone.
Scratching the surface. There's been some excellent ones.
Yeah, this is really a funny group of people. I'll tell you that.
This is the point. This is another Eric one. This is the point in the drive where Matt parks the car in front of his breakfast place.
It's true.
And tries to catch up on our myriad of non-connecting comments.
And then it's that's what happens. They're having their own conversation. I'll read it, and then somebody will say something, and that'll shoot me off into a trajectory that I probably don't want to go into. So yeah, it's good. All right, any more?
I'm sorry I missed it.
I mean, listen, dude.
Oh, how about this one? Wait. There was one that I really liked, and okay, here. What do you call an IQ of 160 in the Marines? You got a guess there, Beth?
No.
A platoon.
That's a deadly ass IQ, though.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Beth, thanks for showing up late. Debbie, thank you. Great to see you, Jamie. Colby, thank you. Everybody else, thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week. Have yourselves a great weekend. Goodbye.
Gettysburg Today is produced by Matt Callery and Veronica Breztensky, Esquire, and broadcasts from the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios. Engineered by Colby Sumner and sometimes someone else. Guest accommodations are provided by the guests themselves. Who are we? Vanderbilts? But if you want us to take better care of them, become a patron at patreon.com/Addressing Gettysburg. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg. Thanks for listening.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 So we made a thoroughfare for freedom and her trade. 60 miles of latitude, 300 turn a day.
Now, this is just a hypothesis.
Hey, what happened? That's right. Why? Whatever do you mean?
I declare bankruptcy!
0.0.
Dybbuk schmibbik. I said more hands.
I just hate you, and I hate your ass face!
I love this podcast.
This concludes our broadcast day.